Game 2 of the World Series that autumn, he was picked off first base by the Dodgers' Mike Marshall. He was also caught stealing twice in the ALCS against the Baltimore Orioles. Washington got into 13 more games in the 1975 season before being released by the A's. His career line shows 105 games played over 2 seasons, where he stole 31 bases and was caught 17 times. Herb Washington scored 33 runs for the Oakland A's, all without a single plate appearance. For It Happened in Baseball, I'm Mick Kern.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
Never.
Bucket is good.
Not.
Man, he pulled out the whole package there.
Exciting.
The Raptors are up 16.
We're just getting started. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
It's the beginning, we just got started.
We're just gonna go game by game, the same what we're trying to do whole year stays there. It's gonna be developing young guys. And when we look at our team, we gotta think about long term. We gotta think about our commitment to winning championships, and it cannot just be like this game or that game. It has to be seeing the big picture, and big picture is we gotta build from within. We gotta develop our young guys. We gotta put them in situations to learn. To be successful, to fail, and to learn from it.
I'm trying to build a championship team here, you know what I mean? I think a team needs everybody. So those guys getting, that development, that's necessary for us, for the next coming years.
The voices of Raptors head coach Darko Rajakovic and R.J. Barrett as the Raptors are back home following their road trip, where they had a couple straight in Orlando before coming home to face Utah tonight, and then 2 straight against Washington tomorrow night and Monday. So a solid stretch coming up for the Toronto Raptors during this homestand, and it begins with 2000s night here at Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith and Paul Jones with you, getting you set for the Utah Jazz and the Toronto Raptors. Utah rolling into this ball game 15-47. They are at the bottom of the Western Conference. The Raptors coming in at 20-42. And I'm sure both organizations looking to their future and their youth, and hopefully bigger and better things to come for both organizations, as Jonesy, Darko, and RJ were just talking about.
Well, I think the key in what both Darko and RJ were talking about are habits. And it's the habits you built. And people will look at the game against Orlando and say, how did the Raptors win that game without some of their best players? Well, the guys that were on the floor have developed really good habits, winning habits, and they showed through.
Raptors, to say that they're banged up, I was trying to choose my words carefully. To say they're banged up is an understatement. We'll just leave it at that. They are riddled with injuries and ailments coming into this ball game, and as a result, we are going to see a much different starting lineup than we have seen ever before. And I'm not going to give you those names. I'm just going to tease it right now, as you'll hear it from Mark Strong in a few minutes' time after the anthems. But Toronto is playing undermanned, to say the least, as they get set to host the Jazz in this matchup. Again, it's a Friday night from Scotiabank Arena, and we are set to go in a few minutes' time. We're going to step aside for the commercial break, and when we come back, we will get it rolling from Scotiabank Arena on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors, right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Roll Up to Win is back at Tim Hortons with millions of prizes, like a vacation with Sell Off Vacations or a Tracker Off-Road ATV from Bass Pro Shops. Play on the Tim's app until March 23rd. Rules apply, Canada only. No purchase necessary. Visit the Tim's app for details.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Law & Order Thursday on City TV.
We're charging him with manslaughter.
3 Law & Orders on one epic night.
It was premeditated. It was planned.
Law & Order at 8.
He told me to is not a legal defense against murder.
SVU at 9.
Covering his ass, I'd start thinking about your own.
Followed by the new season of Law & Order Toronto Criminal Intent at 10.
Nothing justifies murder. How about we start with the truth?
Law & Order Thursday, all new, 8/7 Central on City TV.
Motorama is back. Presented by eBay Motors, Canada's biggest custom car, hot rod, and racing show all this weekend at Toronto's International Centre. 4 big halls packed with amazing custom cars, hot rods, muscle cars, trucks, imports, exotics, racing vehicles, and more. Check out the Zaire Insurance Mayhem Vintage Room. Meet celebrity guests Chip Foose and Rust Brothers Mike and Avery from Rust Valley Restorers. Check out the incredible Best in Show Valvoline Canadian 10 cars. One will become the Motorama Grand Champion. Go to MotoRamaShow.com for tickets and info. Free parking.
Golf Town's annual Re-Grip event is back. Get 40% off golf grips from top brands like Golf Pride, Superstroke, Lambkin, and more. Get golf ready and save today at one of Golf Town's 48 locations or golftown.com. While supplies last, some exclusions apply.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Guys, enough. Kintec are experts in orthotics and footwear. It's what sets them apart. By tailoring orthotics to your shoes and shoes to your orthotics, you get comfort and support designed just for you.
Oh, so it's orthotics and footwear working together.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
You got it.
Or tuna and jam.
Is that a thing?
PB&J.
Tuna and jam.
Oh, boy.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Discover more value at Loblaws. Get pork side ribs for $1.99 per pound or a pound of strawberries for $1.99 each. Offer ends March 12th. Conditions apply. See flyer for details. Loblaws, proudly Canadian since 1919.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back inside Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Toronto Raptors basketball brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors. We're going to get Jonesy's keys to victory in a couple of moments as we get set for this tip-off between Utah and Toronto. And just in the interest of letting folks know, for folks that care, it was a very raucous crowd, both pro and con, depending on how you look at it, for the U.S. and Canadian national anthems. And I would say more boisterous than we've heard in quite some time.
Well, as long as that guy continues to turn things crazy, I think you're going to hear that.
Let's get the starting five for the Utah Jazz.
28, Bryce Sensama. Out of the IMG Academy, a 6'6" forward, number 99, is KJ Martin. Out of Auburn, a 7'1" center, number 24, Walter Kessler. From USC, a 6'5" guard, number 13, Isaiah Collier. And out of Alabama, a 6'1" guard, number 2, is Colin Sexton. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Utah Jazz is Will Hardy.
There you have it, starting five for the Utah Jazz, as it's now time for the keys to victory, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get performance and get in the game with the Civic Hybrid, available now at your Ontario Honda dealers. Jonesy?
Well, you know how we always used to earmark turnovers with the Raptors?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do that tonight again, too, but with a little bit of a caveat and an asterisk, as it might be, Eric, is Utah is near the bottom of the NBA in turnovers per game. And when you look at assisted turnover ratio and turnovers per game, Utah's 30th. They're last. So they are going to give the ball away. If you're Toronto, take advantage of the points, the fact that you are fifth in fast break points and you want to get out and run and get some easy baskets. Turnovers first key. Second key is I would look at your three-point shooting. Utah is 17th in percentage, but they're up there in terms of makes and attempts. They're top 10 in makes and attempts, 8th and 9th respectively. Toronto at 29th. So Toronto, what they get off turnovers, are going to have to be aware not to give back with three-point shooting. And lastly, I would say, keep the energy up. If you're Toronto, doesn't matter who's on the court, play your butt off.
I think we're going to have the energy tonight, man, because it's 2000s night, and I'm digging the music already.
I look for one of those big old suits that you and I have a picture in.
Let's get the starting five for the Raptors.
Wearing number 14, the rookie on the front line. Make some noise for Jacoby Walter. From Maryland, the Wildcat moving 0 to 100 swiftly. You know who? IQ Emmanuel. Quickly. Hold it down in center from Sin City. Wearing the big number 0, Big O, Orlando Robinson. Standing at 6'6", representing the 6. Make some noise for AJ Lawson. And at 6'8" from Florida State. Make some noise for your boy, Scotty Barnes. Head coach of the Toronto Raptors is Darko Rajakovic.
All right, there you have it. Starting five for the Toronto Raptors as we are just about set to go here on a Friday night. NHL trade deadline earlier today. The sports world buzzing. I know the Leafs made a couple of moves.
Wow, I'm still shaking my head with the Brad Marchand move.
Yeah, he got dealt from Boston to Florida. But we're focused right now on the Jazz and the Raptors, and two teams that hope in very short order are climbing the rankings in the NBA. And we're also keeping our eye on the volleyball world tonight.
I
and there's a
can't help
bias. There's a bias, which is fine. It's allowed. Jonesy, you want to give an update?
Western and York, my two alma maters, playing for a spot at the Canadian Championship, the Final 8. Although blood runs a little thicker than school right now, as my son Michael is playing for Western, and they're up one set and 13-5 in the second set. Winner gets a trip to the Canadian Championship, and something he can say that he's already done that neither his brother and sister did that played OUA volleyball. He's won a playoff game.
Ooh. Well, you didn't have to throw the other two under the bus.
I'm just saying.
You didn't have to lift one by pushing the other two down.
I'm just saying there will be a point when there's a summer barbecue and the youngster will have bragging rights. So
Andrew, Justine, I got your back.
Right.
Dad doesn't, I still got your back. Don't you worry.
They're cheering just as hard for him. You can trust me on that.
And listen, it's not as thick as blood. It's not my child, but shout out to the Humber College Hawks in the men's program. Even though they lost the provincials last weekend, they still qualified with a wild card for the Nationals. So a big shout out to the Hawks competing at the Nationals this weekend.
I'm going to say this about the Hawks. That is a program built by Mike Cates and Doug Fox back in those days.
Yep.
They're like the Celtics or the Lakers of Ontario and Canadian college basketball, man. They are always there.
And let me get out my soapbox. One of these days I would love to see Canadian colleges competing with Canadian universities.
I've already been there, and I played at the university level and coached.
Raptors lose the jump, but the Jazz turn the ball over on their opening possession, and it nets a triple from Jacoby Walter right in front of the Jazz bench, and the Raptors lead 3-0.
So the first two keys, turnovers and three-point shooting, right?
Utah with the ball now. Sensabaugh goes cross-court, right to left. Over on the far side, Jazz working around to Collier. Now on the far side, trying to put it on the floor and drive is Kessler, who lost the handle and turned it over again.
Well, good pressure, good ball pressure by Orlando Robinson. It's not really Kessler's game, putting it on the floor that far out.
Walters got it on the wing near side, goes up top straightaway to Scotty inside the arc, steps into a jumper and knocks it down clean right in the eye of KJ Martin.
That was an eye hole special. And you could see Martin coming out to challenge. It was like, no big deal. You're still taking this with you.
Sexton over to Kessler on the far side. Orlando Robinson all over Kessler. Gives it back to Sexton, trying to weave through some traffic, getting toward the hoop on the far side. Floats one up and in, and the Jazz get on the board, but it's 5-2 Toronto. Raptors back the other way across center, comes quickly to the trailer. Barnes over to Robinson. On the perimeter right now, hands off to Quickly. Steps into a 3-ball near side, back rim, high for the rebound. Pulling it down is Kessler, who hands off to Sexton. 90 seconds into the ball game, Raptors leading 5-2. Sexton, covered by A.J. Lawson. Crossed him up, now stops on a dime, elevates for the jumper, missed badly, and the Raptors come away with the rebound, pushing down the floor. One-man wrecking crew is Quickly, who throws it up, missed the shot, but he's fouled, and Emmanuel Quickly is going to go to the free throw line.
It's pretty solid defense by the Raptors. We talk about their habits, Eric. That's the thing that's carrying them right now. The ball pressure out on Kessler and all of the stuff that we've seen Darko talk about since training camp is coming to the fore right now.
Raptors pushing the lead to 6-2 with the first free throw going down as Quickly takes a deep breath on number 2. It's up and clean, 7-2. Raptors again restore the 5-point lead. We mentioned in our brief pregame show right before tip all the players that are out for the Raptors. How about for the Jazz as well? 5 key cogs, including Lauri Markkanen, and Collins. Another turnover for Kessler, and the Raptors pick it up. Down the floor comes Walter in the corner. Gave it up to Lawson on the wing to Quickly. Missed the wide open 3-ball, and the Raptors retreat defensively.
Good ball movement, though. Good ball movement, good player movement. They got a great shot.
Raptors up 7-2. 2:10 gone by here, opening quarter. In the far corner, Utah trying to work now down along the baseline. It's Collier, jackknife pass back out onto the perimeter. Sensabaugh missed that one on the 3-ball, and the Raptors control the rebound, and they'll come the other way. Walter ahead to Scotty out on the wing far side. Barnes back to a cutting Walter, was met by Kessler down low, fouled, and Jacoby Walter goes to the free throw line. I think I say it every single game that we work together. I love what Jacoby Walter does, and I feel like he has got his just due this year as the sort of unheralded rookie.
Yeah.
Like we've talked a lot about Moba, and we talked a ton about Shed, but Walter has been solid.
So, and I say this, when I think about Memphis, McCain, who's out in Philly, the 4 rookies that the Raptors got, everybody thought this was such a terrible draft. And I've given you my theory on that. I think it goes from a GM saying, well, it's not a deep draft, and all of a sudden it's broken telephone, and then you go, oh, it's a terrible draft.
Yeah. 9-2, Raptors leading after the free throws went down for Jacoby Walter. Toronto up by 7, largest lead of the game. Sexton has it on the near side. Shot clock still winding down, and another turnover for Utah. Lawson picked the pocket of Sexton down the floor. Lawson elevates for the layup attempt, and credit Sexton, who got back in the play quickly, knocked that ball away from Lawson to make a big defensive play. Raptors keep the ball on the baseline with still 20 on the shot clock.
Well, Colin Sexton's not the kind to quit, and he got on his horse after turning the ball over. Looks like he's hurt his left hand, though.
Walter inbounds, elevates in the corner quickly for the jump shot. It's good on an 18-footer. Ended up on his wallet, no call, but you'll take the deuce, and the Raptors leading by 9. Collier lobbing a pass into the lane. KJ Martin hands off to Kessler. Open two-hand dunk. Raptors lead is cut to 7.
Nice job kind of quarterbacking there by Kessler.
Barnes to Quickly in the near corner to Walter. Back out on the perimeter to Barnes on the wing near side. Missed the triple down low. Robinson boxed out by Kessler, who grabs the rebound and pushes ahead to Collier out on the far side. Check that, it's Sensabaugh with the pass now to Kessler, who bobbled on the catch, lost it, and yet another Utah turnover. Their 5th in only 3.5 minutes.
Kessler's having trouble just handling the ball, dribbling it, catching it.
Raptors have already scored 7 points off turnovers. And again, we're not even 4 minutes into the game. Toronto leading 11-4. Walter in the near corner. Bringing it back more toward the wing. Now putting it on the floor, driving into the paint, going to the tin and laying it in. How about Jacoby Walter?
Eric, his confidence is also growing too. I mean, you make a game winner, you're starting, it's about development, but I'm going to show you what I can do.
Collier into the painted area, got toward the 10, fires into the far corner, missing on the triple, no good. That was Sensabaugh. Jazz get the ball back, another tip, no good, but then the third attempt is tapped in by Kessler. And we're going to have a timeout, I believe, coming up here with 7:42 to go in the opening frame. And the Raptors leading 13-6. And maybe I might have jumped the gun a little bit on the timeout call. But we are going to have a couple of changes. And, in fact, we've also got a change in the broadcast booth for a second, as we are pleased to be joined by former Toronto Raptor, longtime NBAer Jason Kapono.
And former NBA three-point shooting contest winner.
The
JK.
champ.
I mean, dreams do come true.
Yes, they
courtside,
do. Sitting courtside.
the headphones on with Jonesy.
You're welcome anytime, man. Anytime you want. Anytime you want.
And
I just got to fly north more.
Yes.
You do. But it gets expensive when you got two sets of twins, JK.
Yeah, two sets of twins might have been my worst choice in my life, but I am stuck with them.
Well,
I love them to death. Thank God I only brought two, though, here.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Morris Peterson was in town a couple of nights ago for the GOA event.
Yes.
And he's got three.
Yeah, he's got
so did you guys trade notes?
Yeah, 3 sets plus one.
Yes.
So, yeah. He has 7.
Yeah, he's working on a full team right now.
Yeah, he's got subs.
Raptors extend their
short
lead
of one starter.
to 15-6 after quickly knocks down 2 free throws. He's got 6 in this opening quarter as the Jazz bring it down the floor, trailing by 9. Jason, what have you been doing in retirement since stepping away from the game? I mean, you can fill in the fans of what's been keeping you busy outside of 4 kids, which is clearly going to keep most people busy in itself.
So I made the wrong choice to coach my kids. So I've been coaching girls basketball, boys baseball. It's been taken away from my golf game. My brush tees don't get used as much as when I was in Toronto with Jonesy here. So that's why I need to fly north.
JK, when you look at the game now and think of you as a three-point shooter, I talked to another UCLA guy, Tracy Murray, about this as the Raptors get the turnover.
Oh, hit it.
Quickly pulls up for the 3 ball, left it short off the front of the rim, but Raptors grab the rebound, but it's a push in the back, offensive foul, and we're going back the other way.
How much would you like to be playing in this time, Jason, where there was basically no worries about taking a 3, making it, nobody's going to punish you for it? Looks like we got a timeout. Can you hold your answer till we get back?
Yes, of course.
All right, so JK's going to stick around for a little bit. We will step aside for break. We'll come back, get the answer, and continue with first quarter action as the Raptors lead 15-6 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
At Desjardins, we speak business. We speak startup funding and comprehensive game plans. We've mastered made-to-measure growth and expansion advice, and we can talk your ear off about transferring your business when the time comes. Because at Desjardins Business, we speak the same language you do, business. So join the more than 400,000 Canadian entrepreneurs who already count on us and contact Desjardins today. We'd love to talk business.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Y'all got the stats here? You got everything.
We got everything, man. We're courtside with Jason Kapono as we return to Toronto Raptors basketball. 7:14 to go in the opening quarter. Raptors leading 15-6, and we need the answer. Yeah, do you remember the question?
Yeah, the question was, how do you think you would fit in
today's game?
Yeah, in the era now. I think I would fit better because I wouldn't be able to get subbed out for not playing D. because every team I think the average team total is in the 120s. I got drafted in 2003 when the Spurs and the Pistons and the Heat and those boys were averaging maybe 95 to 98 points. So
league average, JK, 113.6, so 114 a game.
And so you guys are probably in 15 years, the league average has grown a point a year.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a lot of good spacing. It's a lot more talented players that can do multiple things. So they got rid of the back to the basket, power forward, traditional center.
But JK, don't you think you need some of that in the game still as Utah comes front court here?
I would say not, right? Because all of like the analytics guys who tell you not to take a pull-up two-pointer at a higher percentage, that's a worse shot. So, I mean, how
do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not a statistics guy. I was never good in school, but I did like to shoot threes. So I was told to shoot the best quality shot, and if you make it more, then keep doing that.
Right.
Sexton got a floater for the Jazz to go, so the Jazz cut it to a 7-point game. Raptors, speaking of threes, in the corner. Lawson, as Kapono says, hit it, and AJ knocks it down to extend the lead to 10, largest of the game.
Man, that guy catches and shoots. His shot prep is great, and he shoots it like he's making every one.
It's the highest percentage shot in the game, right?
The corner three. Yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
Short and sweet right there.
And driving down Main Street for Utah was Collier. Gets fouled by Castleton. And we should mention Colin Castleton into the ballgame for the Raptors. His first appearance for Toronto. Just came to town a couple of days ago. Played with the 905 yesterday. And now his first burn for the big club. And how about this lineup on the floor right now for the Raptors? Lawson, Walter, Castleton, Shed, and Battle. Speaking of all the youngsters and all the youth out there on the floor for Toronto, with the Raptors leading by 8. I wanted to ask you, you've been at the peak and you've had some lean years as well. I'm talking team-wise, not individually. How do you find the motivation? I know everybody's going to say, hey, you got to be a pro, etc. But when you're having a tough year like the Raptors are, like the Jazz are, and still going out there and being a pro and finding ways to get through the 82-game grind, knowing that you're not having the success in the win-loss record that you want.
Yeah, players play. Players are born to compete. I don't care if you're 1-71 or you're 72-0. You've grown up and played this game for years upon years, and all you want to do is win. So you take pride in going out there and not bowing down to the competition. You got to be ready, and there's no worse feeling than if you know that you went out on the floor and you didn't compete and you didn't give it your all. So I know for sure that these guys here are trying to prove that, and they're going to do that too.
Yeah.
Collier got the free throws, Jonesy, to cut it to 8, and then the Raptors got the deuce right back on a Jamison Battle 10-footer. And Utah just turned the ball over yet again, already with 7 turnovers in less than 7 minutes.
Well, Jason, in terms of the shooting, I want to stay on this, the way the game is now. Would you rather see a guy taking a low percentage for him 3-point shot?
Speaking of the 3, another Lawson 3 back rim.
Or take that mid-range shot that he's more comfortable with?
And Walter cleaned it up to put it back in.
To me, I would rather take a pull-up 2 that I can shoot at a higher clip.
Right.
But if your coach tells you that, hey, I want to see you shoot more threes and not shoot that pull-up 2, and the coach has the keys to your playing time,
then
you're probably going to do what your coach tells you. So I think like the analytics guys, I don't know what the math is or the formula is, but I think it's proven now that it's better to shoot a lower clip from 3 over a 4-quarter game than it is to shoot pull-up long 2s.
What's your line, Jonesy?
Hey,
3 is better than 2,
3 is better than 2,
0.
But 2 is better than nothing. But you get a team like Boston who's got 5 guys who can play 5 out, and they can all fire the 3 at a decent clip. They're, in this day and age, JK, they're tough to beat.
Oh, it's tough, and especially if you're shooting, like a high volume. I think they shoot, 53s a game.
Yeah.
Nice
so
backdoor
if you're
cut there.
53s a game, and you're only making, say, 32%, if you take more 2s and you're shooting, say, 38%, then I'm sure the math is not in your favor. So
it was Lawson with the backdoor cut, but unfortunately botched the layup attempt, and Utah came back the other way quickly, got down the floor, and Jamison Battle picks up the foul on Filipowski, who's going to go to the free throw line right now. As Utah trails by 8, they're going to try and cut it to 7, maybe 6 right here, and Toronto calls for the timeout. You want to get back to watching the game, or you want to stay here? It's totally your call.
I can hang out here all day. I'm comfortable. I like my seat better.
I see Annie Chow, who's fantastic.
I like my seat. No, I like my seat better.
Okay, you deal with Annie then. You take the heat with Annie. Jason Kapono's apparently sticking around for a little bit longer. We'll keep him as long as he wants.
I'm flying home tomorrow, so she can't say too much to me, right?
4:19 to go in the opening frame. Raptors leading by 8. We'll take the break, come back with more on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Itching to head outside as the weather warms up? Just remember, when it's 0 degrees and above, you and your pets aren't the only ones active. For the health of the whole family, make sure you're offering your dog or cat the protection they need. Talk to your veterinarian about all-in-one options today and visit nextguard.ca for some great savings. That's NextGuard, NEXGARD.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones, Jason Kapono with you. First quarter action brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home court advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, proudly built here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today. Again, Jason Kapono, former Raptor, longtime NBAer. Joining us courtside here, it's 2000s night as we celebrate a number of former Raptors, including JK. Jose Calderon is in attendance as well, was just thrown up on the big board and getting some love from the hometown crowd. What's your biggest or best memory that stands out? I'm sure there's a bunch of them, but when you think Toronto and you think of your time with the Raptors, what stands out more than any?
Oh, man.
Even if it's a few, then.
I think we had a lot. Actually, my first season, because we were outside of the playoff hunt, and then we made a nice little run at the end of the year there in 2007. And we were watching because we were in the locker room, and we needed, I think it was Washington at the time, we needed them to lose so that we could secure the 7th seed, right? And then we got the Magic. So to see all the guys, they huddled up knowing that we had to go, whatever it was, 8-2 or 7-3, like to finish the year, was a huge thing. And then, seeing the excitement, it doesn't matter how much money you get paid or where you get drafted, just having the, having the want and will to want to go to the playoffs to compete for a championship.
Filipowski goes 1 of 2 at the free throw line for Utah, so they've cut the Raptor lead from 12 down to 7. Jonesy, I'm going to tee you up on this one because we've worked together for so long, JK. I know exactly what Jonesy's thinking as the Raptor ripped down a 3 with Jamison Battle knocking it down. You often, Jonesy, talk about that series against the Magic, and even though it was over, unfortunately, relatively quickly, it was that close to being either a Raptor series or at the very least a 6-7 game series.
Orlando won that. They won 4 games in the space of about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Game 1 was a blowout.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jared Rhoden, corner 3, no good for Toronto. They win game 1 in a blowout. Game 2,
tight.
Bosch has the foul line jumper, right, that doesn't go down. And right there, Stan Van Gundy says, ball in the air, stop it in the air. Can Sam Mitchell coach, yes or no? Don't wait till it goes down to tell me he's a good or a bad coach. So you lose that one, come back, win game 3 at home.
Oh, my goodness. Scotty Barnes with a massive swat down low and immediately mugged for his bench. Can I cut you off for 1 second?
No, it's good,
You
man.
were talking about Scotty when you first sat down, just about his build, his frame, and how impressed you are seeing him in person.
Yeah, don't go there, George. That's a bad choice. I think you take the pull-up, too. take the pull-up 2 or take the travel sidestep 3. But don't mess with Barnes. Scotty's got you.
Well, the sidestep 3 just worked for Filipowski, who now cuts the Raptor lead to 7. But Jonesy, go back to that Magic series.
So Raptors win Game 3, and it's 2-1. Game 4, minute and a half to go. It's a 2-point game before Toronto falls apart. And then Game 5, the clinching game that they lose, Shed 3, no good. Eric, you and I were sitting courtside with 4 minutes to go on the last timeout. It's a 3-point game. And Sam Mitchell has his hands in his pockets, and he looks at us and raises eyebrows, and as basically to say, hey, we're still in this. And it was that close, that whole series.
It was super tight. But scouting report-wise, I would say that we would go back and we would let every pick and roll, let Dwight Howard roll and score 70 points and stay home on the shooters, right? Because that team was kind of that era where it started to shift, right? Get Dwight Howard and then 4 guards,
right?
Or 2 guards and 2 wings that can shoot the 3. So if you give them both,
handled a lot of those pick and rolls.
So Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson, and Rashard Lewis.
Right.
But if you pick your poison, I would say that you would much rather have Dwight score 70, which he probably couldn't, and then try to hold the other 4 guys on the floor to 30-plus.
1:40 to go here, opening quarter. The Raptor lead, once 12, has been cut to 5. It's 25-20. Barnes has it over toward the far side, puts it on the floor, gets into the paint, missed the shot, but coming down with the rebound, Roden couldn't get it to go, gets his own miss back. He's hit, and he's going to go to the line. Love the tenacity down low there by the Raptors. I'm going to stay with that Orlando series for a second as well and give some flowers to Jason Kapono, because if I'm not mistaken, was it the second or third leading scorer for the Raptors in that playoff series? And that was a year where I believe you've even acknowledged many times, you and I talked about this recently for another project I'm working on, that there were some frustrating times just trying to figure out the role and figure out the minutes and everything else, but to kind of see it come to fruition in the most important time in the playoffs, that had to have been, for you personally, a good feeling.
It was a good way to finish the year, but if you lose, you lose, right?
Yeah.
So I don't care if you start or if you play a lot of minutes off the bench, you average 20, all you want to do is win. But, you're inspired, though, when you got you and Jonesy courtside, right? It inspires you.
I'm sure that meant a lot to you.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything else that resonates your time in Toronto, JK?
I just think the fan base here is such a good fan base. And they truly understand hoops, and they care about Toronto. And they're not like the fair weather fans in some towns where they show up at 7:45 and they leave at 9:10 and they don't really care. And they really show a lot of love to the players, and it's a great hoop city, basketball city, and it's easy to play for them.
To your point, we always say, JK, when you look up in the corners of the upper deck, if the corners are full, it's going to be damn close to a sellout. Sellout is 19,800. They don't usually give us the number until the fourth quarter. I'm going to guess it's not sellout tonight, but it's darn close.
But it's got to be,
on a
95%.
Friday night. Probably 95% to your point. And you're talking about 2 teams that are in the bottom 5 in the league, and yet this place is still jammed.
It's a true fan.
Yep.
Right? They don't care whether you're, 62 and 20 or if you're 25 and 57.
Hey, man, you said you weren't good at math. You did that pretty good.
I can do simple math.
Yeah.
I can do simple.
JK, where were you when the Raptors won it all, and tell us your feelings when you saw the Larry O'Brien Trophy go to Toronto and know it was coming north of the border?
Yeah, 2019. I was on my couch. My boys were, 6 years old. And when Kawhi shot that jumper right here on the baseline, I don't remember. Well, I was a tad bit mad because I shot that same shot, but the rim was a lot tighter back then. So I was kind of a little jealous that Kawhi got the bounce that he got, but thank God he got that bounce, right?
Absolutely. What about when they actually won the title against Golden State? Do you remember Game 6? Were you watching then, or even just seeing the celebration and the parade afterwards and whatnot?
Oh, we watched that game too. Yeah, we were in the Bahamas.
Nice.
And then we saw that game, and then I knew that they were going to be having a big party. It was great to see Kawhi because he's a California boy. I'm born and raised in Southern California too, so I thought it was actually cool, to see him come here for 6 months or 5 months, or and
got it done, right? Got it done.
Yeah, and he kept his nose down, and he wanted to win, right? So it proves that it's not based on your contract or your draft pick status or anything. Players want to win titles. So it was cool to see Kawhi come here and to lead those guys and to see the passion that he brought. And it was cool to see Toronto get a chance to celebrate a title.
Raptors just turned the ball over with 3 seconds left in the quarter. Utah down the floor, up and under with the layup. It's good.
He's a UCLA guy.
As Juzang got it to go.
Johnny Juzang.
And that cuts the Raptor lead to 1. So Toronto squanders a 12-point lead, but they still do go to the second quarter leading 28-27. JK, we appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate you guys having me. Always good seeing you.
Always,
man. You boys are the best.
All the best,
Keep
man.
it up.
Thank you.
Great to see you, man.
Safe travels, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much.
There's
Y'all
Jason Kapono, former Raptor. We'll come back with second quarter action on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Craving something fresh, fast, and full of flavor? At Barburrito, you can create millions of delicious combinations to match your mood. Build your perfect burrito, bowl, quesadilla, or taco, bursting with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Whether you love it spicy, packed with veggies, or loaded with all the classics, there's a flavor for everyone. Barburrito is proudly Canadian, serving communities coast to coast, right in your neighborhood. Order today in store or on the Barburrito Canada app.
Barburrito, food for every mood.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more because her ovens have gone kaput. She called Alpine Credits, who sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second quarter. Thanks again to Jason Kapono for joining us for most of that opening frame. And we apologize if we might have missed a couple of plays here and there, but hey, you had an opportunity to bring on a former player. You do so, and you share some stories and relive some memories. And Jonesy, again, great to have Jason Kapono on the air with us. Unfortunately, as things were unfolding for the Raptors after their relatively hot start, where they built up a 12-point lead, Toronto plummeted down the stretch down to 32%, and they lead by only 1 now as we begin this second frame. Raptors starting with the ball. Orlando Robinson finds Scotty Barnes free in the lane at the free throw line, knocks it down, and the Raptors go up 3.
Good way to come out of the timeout, start the quarter. Good set play call.
First touch of the second frame for the Jazz. George has it. Fires it into the far corner. Utah looking to tie the game, and they won't. Missing on the triple down there in that far corner was Filipowski, but the ball bounces back out on the perimeter to George. He misses a 3. It's tracked down by the Jazz. They keep it rolling here. A third opportunity on this trip. Sexton out at the logo at center. Shot clock down to 6. He drives on the near side, throws the head back, trying to draw the foul. Won't get the call. It's off Utah, out of bounds. Their 9th turnover, and the Raptors get the ball.
We talked about them being last in turnovers per game. Utah, 17 a game. They're well on their way to that right now.
Barnes has it. Inside the arc, near side, at the elbow now. Up fake, could have leaned in on Kessler, instead passed off to quickly back to Barnes. Straight away, Scotty working on Kessler now. Brought him to the right, came back to the left, had his shot knocked away by Kessler. And the Jazz pick it up. George across center to Sexton in the near corner. It's Filipowski in front of the Raptor bench. Barnes is on his right hip. They go back out towards center to Sexton on the near side. Roden's in front of him. Sexton with that left-hand dribble. Now driving on the near side as he floats toward the baseline, threw it up. I don't know if that was a pass or a shot, but either way, Kessler picked it up, missed the shot. Good contest by Robinson. Raptors come away with the ball, and down the floor, getting behind everybody, was Roden, who dunked it down.
I like Jared Roden. I liked him when I saw him in training camp. The Raptors fall asleep there. give up
Missed
a dunk
assignment
to
there. Wow.
Filipowski. Yeah, but I like Jared Roden and what he could potentially bring.
So they got a quick two, but gave the quick two right back. Raptors leading by 3. Far corner, quickly. Gave it up to Lawson. 3-ball, no good. He ended up on his wallet in Gucci Row, that far corner, but no call. Down the floor come the Jazz. Sexton fouled, and it's going to be a couple of free throws for Colin Sexton. 32-29, 2 minutes, 6 seconds gone by in quarter number 2.
Sexton's a guy that's going to give you all-out effort all the time. Don't ever look for the back down or the take it easy from him.
Colin Sexton steps to the stripe. First free throw is up and clean as the Raptor lead now sits at 2. Sexton, 5 points in the ball game. Has added a block as well in his 8th year out of Alabama. And he misses the second free throw. So the Raptor lead stays at 2. Emmanuel quickly across center, up top, straight away to Barnes. Now at the near elbow, it's Orlando Robinson. Hands back to Quickly, bounces it right back to a cutting Robinson. Missed the layup, the looming presence of Kessler, and Utah grabs the rebound. They've got the ball and a chance to tie or take the lead. George to Sexton. Sexton crosses up road and gets to the 10. Missed the layup down low. Kessler taps it off the glass, keeps it alive, then lays it in, and the Jazz have tied it at 32.
Man, don't tell me there's no place in the game for Walker Kessler's a long drink of water, and he's doing some work on the glass, especially on the offensive end.
He's got 12 rebounds, Jonesy. We're not even 3 minutes into the second quarter.
He's just going after it. It's like he's getting every loose ball.
Jazz have out-rebounded the Raptors 22-14, 9:25 to go. 9:26, excuse me. I got to get my eyes checked. Left in quarter number 2. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
At Tangerine, we're fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Mary, who stands 5 inches away from her 55-inch flat-screen TV and yells at it even though she knows no one on the TV can hear a word she's saying. Is it effective? There's no evidence. Do we support her? Yeah. Screaming at the TV for all 4 quarters. That's how Mary fans. And we're fans of Mary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Life's noisy enough. Everything demands your attention. So here's something rare. Silence. It's underappreciated. Kind of like windows from Magic. With windows made here in Ontario, you'll never have to worry about cross-border sourcing or unexpected costs. While others add to the noise, Magic cuts right through it. Find out more at magicwindow.ca.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 9:26 to go, second quarter. The Jazz have come back from down 12 to tie the game at 32. And Jonesy, how about I do the shout-out? Because I'll tell you, the shout-out goes to the parents that put in the time as well from a young age to bring up young people, let alone young athletes. So congratulations to you and to Lisa and to so many others that contributed to all of your children, but especially a shout out right now to Michael Jones and the Western Mustangs advancing to the Nationals as they just beat York to advance to the Nationals. And congratulations to you, Jonesy. I'm sure it's a proud moment as a dad.
It's really, really cool to see your kids compete. And I know you go through this too, Eric. You've got a young son that, you know, last night when I called you, you were going to watch him play. And sports is a great teacher. And builds and reveals character. And it's great to see when all that work gets put in and a positive result comes out of it. So good luck to the Mustangs as they head to the Canadian Championship for the first time in 12 years.
Orlando Robinson with a triple straight away from the north side puts Toronto back on top by 3. It's 35-32. Sexton out towards center court. Whips a cross-court pass for an open look on an air ball. My goodness. Utah couldn't come up with it on that one. That was Williams who came up way short on that triple. And Toronto quickly down the floor. Roden gets fouled, and they will keep the ball leading by 3. Cody Williams had all day to tee one up and came up way short. And now Toronto will have a chance to extend the lead. Darko Rajakovic going back to his bench as Colin Castleton, Jacoby Walter, and Jamal Shedd are going to check in after this first free throw. Jared Roden at the free throw line. First one is up and in. And I'll tell you, you said it, Jonesy, when we were talking to Kapono. I like Roden. I like the frame. Like, he just looks like a player.
Yeah.
Athletic, long arms.
Strong, fit. Yeah, like it just moves well. Has a real presence about him. And he was a guy that we saw in camp early. Didn't quite work out, but I just like what Jared Roden is able to bring.
And he takes care of business at the free throw line as the Raptors go up 5, and Utah just turned it over again. 3-on-1. Castleton to Shedd to Roden, fouled. Not great spacing on that 3-on-1, but at least you're going to get a chance to come away with points, as Toronto will get right back to the free throw line after the 10th turnover by the Jazz.
Well, they're certainly tracking towards their 17, but Toronto, it's about making some shots now. You talked about the shooting percentage dipping. And you got to rebound, Eric. Like you said, Walker Kessler.
He's got more than half of the Jazz rebounds.
Yeah. They took one away. He's got 11 now of their 21. But still, like, there is a place in the game. You do need a guy who can do the job on the glass for you.
And Roden at the free throw line takes care of business, putting the Raptors up by 7. It's 39-32. Sexton driving, got by Walter, got to the tin and laid it in with the left-hand scoop. Raptors leading by 5. 39-34 with 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Shedd up top to Walter. At the near elbow, it's Castleton. Hands it off to Lawson, turns the corner into the paint, got by Kessler, who recovered though and came up with a big time swat, and down the floor comes Sexton, speeding to the tin, fouled by Shedd, and Colin Sexton is going to go to the free throw line.
Well, you knew Sexton was going to lower his head, and Shedd went back there, stood in, there was contact. Jamal didn't say anything. Yeah, I fouled him. I put my hand, he put his hand up, and then just quietly walked over, and Sexton said, "No hard feelings, brother." And Sexton said, "I got you. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to play defense."
Sexton goes to the stripe, knocks down the first one. 1 of 2 at the stripe tonight, now 2 of 3. He's got 8 points in the ball game. Kyle Filipowski leading the way for the Jazz with 12 points off the bench. In fact, he's the leading scorer in the game, as the Raptors have done a solid job of just spreading the wealth in terms of their offense. A lot of guys getting in on the scoring for T.O. Sexton drops down the second free throw to cut the Raptor lead to 3. Shedd across center, hands it back to Walter. Straightaway 3 ball, north side busted. Jacoby Walter clean, and he's now got 12.
Confidence, right, Eric? He stepped into that one, and that was a Steph Curry special.
Yes, sir.
That was way out. He's got it at 25 feet, but easily that.
Sexton on the near side to Sensabaugh, back to Sexton. Sexton step back over Shedd, no good. Down low though, Kessler cleans it up again, flips it back out on the perimeter. Second chance opportunity for the Jazz. Driving into the lane, Sensabaugh throws it up, missed it, and coming in to steal it away from Kessler was Walter, who brings it across center out on the far side to Lawson. Lawson drives, whips the pass in the near corner to Battle, back out on the perimeter to Walter, who missed it, and then Castleton battling down low with Kessler is going to be called for the hold and the foul, and we're going the other way, Utah ball.
Yeah, Castleton got a hold of the jersey. But I love the hustle. Can't knock any of the hard work that is going on for the Raptors.
Second quarter action is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home court advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, proudly built here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today. Raptors leading by 6, 42-36, and on the inbound, Jamal Shead a little too aggressive on the hip of Isaiah Collier. Got called for the foul, so Utah just inbounded again, and now bringing it down the floor is Collier. Out on the far side, Shead's in front of him. Jamal Shead down in a stance. They give it up to Sensabaugh. Went left, came back right, cut off by Walter, goes back out on the perimeter. Now they work around into the far corner, missing on the 3-ball far side, no good. That was Sexton who couldn't come up with it. But then Kessler doing the job again on the glass with his 13th rebound, and he's fouled on the putback opportunity, and he will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
You're at the point now with Walker Kessler. I mean, he looks like Dennis Rodman out there. You've got to box him out. You might even want to face guard him, face him like an offensive lineman and push him back a couple steps before you turn and put your butt on a thigh. But he's like that dog that you feed at the back door, just keeps coming back for more. So the Raptors are going to have to figure this out.
Well, it was exactly 1 month ago today, February 7th, 2025, against the Phoenix Suns, that Kessler had his career high in rebounds at 22. He's 9 off that, but we're not even at the midway point of quarter number 2. So we'll keep an eye on that. As he just went 0 of 2 at the free throw line, the Raptors still lead by 6 on the near side. Walter was on the perimeter, got into the paint, fires a pass into the corner, open for the look, no good. Lawson missed the 3, but it's tracked down by Castleton. Second chance opportunity, whips a pass down low to Lawson. Looked like he got hacked, no whistle. Looked like that was a foul on Martin. Instead, here come the Jazz, trailing 42-36. Collier has it out on the perimeter. Looks up at the shot clock. He's still got 10 seconds to go. Now drives down Main Street, missed the layup. Another Utah rebound, and guess who? Walker Kessler, and he's fouled yet again, as the foul is going to come in against Jamison Battle, and back to the free throw line for Walker Kessler, who now has 15 rebounds.
Well, when Castleton was caught on the perimeter against Collier, you have to know that if that little guy drives against your big guy and beats him, there's going to be help, and somebody has to rotate back and push Walker Kessler towards center. Although you might want to keep fouling him with a free throw looking like that.
Shoots 55% at the line. And so far tonight shoots 0 for. He's 0 of 3. Third year out of Auburn. 6th in the league in offensive rebounding. 2nd in blocks. And just missed another free throw. He's now 0 for 4. All 4 coming in the last 45 seconds or so. Raptors still leading by 6, 42-36. Shed over to Robinson, hands it back to Shed on the far wing. Now comes back and dips behind the Robinson screen, fires it back to Robinson down low, leans in on Kessler, misses the little gimme right under the 10, and again, that's the presence of Kessler.
Sure was. Robinson was looking for him right away.
And now A.J. Lawson just picked up a foul. He kind of jumped into the lane in front of Collier, and Collier ran right into Lawson. That's going to be 2 more free throws coming for the Jazz as Isaiah Collier heads to the stripe for attempts 3 and 4 on the night. 5:22 to go here in the opening half as the Raptors lead by 6. They had the lead as high as 12. Utah came back to tie it, and then Toronto got it back up to where we stand now at 6. Utah has not led at any point in this game. Toronto shooting 31%, the Jazz at 40. Another missed free throw for the Jazz. 5 straight misses. And on the game, Utah just 6 of 13 overall. Second free throw coming in a moment for Collier. Isaiah Collier, 29th pick last year. from Southern California knocked down the second free throw.
Both Robinson and Kessler go to the ground. Good for Robinson, trying to block him out, take him down, keep him away from the ball on the glass.
Raptors leading by 5. Scotty Barnes, far side, bounce pass in the lane to Robinson. And again, the looming presence of Kessler. Robinson hesitated, kind of juked, then lost the handle and turned it over.
Listen, easy for me to say at 6 feet sitting here on the sideline, but you got to get into the chest, take away the space of the shot blocker, get contact, and shoot your shot, and it goes in. But don't change it and miss, or it'll get blocked, or you'll get fouled. But do not change it and miss.
Utah just turned it over again. 11 turnovers in this first half. We still have 4:56 to go until halftime. Raptors leading by 5 as Quickly brings it across center. Quickly now trying to drive down Main Street. Bunny hop pass back out on the perimeter to Barnes. Barnes through the lane, bumped as he elevated, missed the shot, got his own miss back. Goes in the far corner to Quickly on the wing, far side. Battle 3 ball, no good, back rim. Jumping in to grab the rebound though. It's Quickly, third chance on this trip. Scotty Barnes straight away grazed the side of the iron on a triple, and here come the Jazz.
Hesitated just ever so slightly, Scotty, and that's what did him in.
Scotty tonight just 2 of 9. He's got 4 points. Down Main Street, KJ Martin passed up the floater to pass out onto the perimeter, and it nets a triple for Sensabaugh as Utah cuts it to 2. 4:10 to go here, second quarter. Raptors leading 42-40. Quickly to Barnes, hands off, near elbow to Robinson, back to Quickly. Quickly now driving into the paint, bumped as he elevates, floated it up. It hit 2 rims, wouldn't go, but he's going to get a chance now to earn 2 at the strike.
IQ so good at adjusting his body, maintaining an equilibrium while floating one way or the other, either to the right or to the left. We see that a lot from him, and gaining contact, playing through that contact and getting a shot up. Sometimes you get a score out of it, sometimes you don't, but a lot of times you get free throws, and that's what we're going to see now.
4:02 to go here in the opening half. Raptors leading by 2, make it 3 as the first free throw goes down for Emmanuel Quickly. Just 1 of 5 from the floor, but now a perfect 7 of 7 at the free throw line. Toronto doing a solid job as a team at the stripe tonight. 14 of 15, their 16th attempt coming right here on the second one for Quickly. Takes a deep breath, wearing that white and red 5 on the black back of that two-toned Raptor jersey. The throwbacks on tonight for the Raptors with that purple and black two-tone jersey on 2000s night.
I think of 3 guys when I see this jersey.
All right.
Our colleague Alvin Williams.
Antonio Davis has got to be one of them.
Antonio Davis and Vince Carter.
Yep. I see that. I can hear that, Jonesy. Scotty Barnes battling for a rebound. Got his hand hit, and he is grimacing as he comes across center, clutching onto his left hand.
We had a hand issue with Scotty already this career, right?
Yep. I can't tell if it's a hand or a finger, but either way, the finger's on the hand, so we'll just call it a hand for now. And he is still grimacing in pain and holding that left hand behind his body. He is not called for the bench yet.
Eric, you sound like a Jamaican. Anything from the tip of your middle finger to the crown of your shoulder is called your hand.
Okay. I've been hanging around you long enough. Just don't ask me to speak patois. I can understand some of it.
There
I just can't speak it. Raptors get another stop. They come down the floor in the near corner. Jacoby Walter, good look at a 3, couldn't come up with it. And Utah back the other way, trailing by 4. Driving far side, KJ Martin trying to weave through traffic. Missed the shot, wanted a call, didn't get it. And Barnes picks it up, trying to shake off that left hand that got banged up as he brings it down toward the left block, near side. Now turning his back on Martin. He's going to try and back down. Now he turns, fires on a jumper. Clean, Scotty Barnes. Never hurt on offense. Nobody ever is, as Toronto leads by 6.
Big boy ball by Scotty as he walks him down, and he's very comfortable with that turnaround jump shot.
46-40, and away from the ball, they're going to call Jacoby Walter with a foul as he knocked George down to the floor. Keontae George scrapes himself up to head back into the timeout. And Darko Rajakovic doesn't like the call. He's in a full conversation right now with the officials, and specifically with Suyash Mehta. Not going to win that argument with 2:41 to go until halftime, and the Raptors leading by 6 will continue after the break on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
Hear that? That's the sound of a sell-off vacations deal leaving you behind. Why miss your chance to get away right away when our experts can save your vacation and budget with unbeatable prices on last-minute all-inclusive sun packages, only around until March 31st. Get yours before time runs out. And moment of truth. Contact your local travel expert or visit
selloutvacations.com. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 2:41 to go until half. Daniele Franceschi coming up with our halftime show again on 2000s night at Scotiabank Arena. Who'd you say he's playing tonight, JR? At halftime. Classified, right?
Classified. All right. E, want to send out a happy birthday to Marion Davis, Southwestern Ontario, one of our great listeners and true Raptor fans. Marion, happy birthday. Know you had a chance to celebrate with your son Scott, and Scott and I are familiar through that game with the little white ball, Eric, that I like to chase around in the summer.
Yeah, that 4-letter word, right?
4-letter word, golf, because all the other 4-letter words were taken. Scott took Marion for lunch today, and she's a huge Raptor fan. Watches, listens whenever she can. So, Marion, we just like to pass along our great wishes for a happy birthday. And, Scott, at some point this summer, I will be back in Erio. And if I bring Eric along with the rest of the people down there, we can get out there and whack it around.
Listen, I would love to head down that way. One of my good friends is from Wallaceburg, that's down in that area, right?
Man, you're deep in Southwest Ontario.
And I went to school with a buddy. I haven't seen him in quite some time, from Blenheim. That's out that way as well.
Well, I'm connected to Erio and Amherstburg.
Yeah, Amherstburg. Yep. Underground Railroad, is it not?
There you go.
Yep. See, I know my stuff, man.
Listen.
Come on.
Scott, have a great time. Marion, happy birthday.
And Scott, if we come out and do some golfing, maybe we could take Mom out as well, like local Windsor. I hear the pizza in Windsor is like, people in Windsor tell you it's the best in Canada. I don't know about that, but I hear it's great. Triple for Quickly, straight away, busted.
That's
and
great.
The Raptors go up by 7.
Good job, Quickly coming off the pin down, knocking it out. Raptors with that 7-point lead. Really good offense.
49-42, 2:10 to go until halftime. Collier on the near side. Shed right in front of him. Gives it up to Kessler with 17 rebounds in the first half. Kessler diving to the tin looking for another rebound, and he's going to get it as he just beat 3 Raptors to the ball. Second chance opportunity for the Jazz, and down low, oh man, the Raptors come up with a defensive stop on their own as KJ Martin looked like he had a surefire deuce. Raptors feed their offense. Unfortunately, they missed the triple from Walter, but it's cleaned up by Robinson on a putback jam. What a great job getting off that Keontae George miss.
Yeah, nice job. Robinson running the floor and not leaving any room for Kessler to get his hands on it with the dunk.
Raptors pushing their lead back up here in the dying moments of this first half. It was 12. Utah wiped it out to tie the game, and now the Raptors have built it back up to 9. Jamal Shed just picked up a foul. That's going to be his 3rd of the game. It's been a quiet night for Shed, at least in terms of his offense.
He's always got a solid floor game, though, to display, Eric.
I have notifications turned on my phone, Jonesy, for DMs on like or text messages in general.
Yeah.
Somebody just hit me up. Leanne Marie. It just popped up on my screen, so I'm going to have to see if she wrote anything else. But in caps, Leanne Marie, listening to us, just said, did you just bust out Wallaceburg? I'm telling you, one of my close friends, Jeff Webster, is from Wallaceburg. So, yeah, Leanne.
We had a family wedding in Harrow.
Okay.
So, like, Leanne, we can go deep into southwestern Ontario if you want. And as Eric said,
the land of the windmills. Head on out.
North Buxton, a lot of black settlements down there, as you said, Eric, through the Underground Railroad.
58 seconds to go. First half, Raptors have stretched the lead to 10. They could match their largest lead to 12 right here. No look, Scotty Barnes to a cutting Walter with a two-hand flush.
Great fast break, Eric. Classic 3-on-2. Scotty in the middle with the ball. Wing lanes being filled, running, cutting hard, and they get a dunk.
55-43. Keontae George tried to put it on the floor and drive, and they're going to call the Raptors on a reach. I believe they are getting... Nope, I take it back. I thought that they were going to get the foul on Walter. They're going to get it on Jared Roden on the reach. As Utah gets a chance to head to the stripe, it'll be Keontae George. He's got 6 points off the bench with 38.7 seconds to go here in the first half, and the Raptors leading by 12. Toronto's still shooting below 35%, but they have taken full advantage of Utah turnovers in this first half, scoring 15 points off turnovers and outscoring the Jazz by 5 at the stripe as well. Funky, but effective. And I'm looking courtside here, Jonesy, and Darko Rajakovic patrolling the sidelines up and down. Just look down at two dudes sitting front row, feet on the court in Toronto, and they had their heads down looking at their phones. And Darko just said, man, you guys are on your phones and you're sitting courtside? He was busting chops. He had a big smile on his face, but he called them out for having their heads buried in their devices. Raptors leading 55-44 after George went 1 of 2 at the stripe. Deep triple straight away. Quickly missed it from almost the logo, and Barnes pulls down the rebound and quickly turns it over. And down the floor, laying it up and in for the Jazz was Sensabaugh to get a deuce with 9.7 seconds remaining.
Got to have your head on a swivel. Jared Roden was wide open going down the lane. He was just using kind of a throwaway cut through the lane, and he was open, and Scotty saw him. It's like football, man. Run your play. Expect the ball.
I actually thought they might even hold for the last shot. Floater no good for Quickly. The putback jam, unfortunately, missed as well. I believe that was Scotty that jumped up in there and missed that putback. But then a foul comes in on Walker Kessler, and that will send the Raptors to the free throw line. It'll be Scotty Barnes. He missed that dunk because of the contact from Kessler. So Barnes heads to the stripe for the first time tonight. Normally, we'd be giving Scotty Barnes the flowers in the first half as well. He's got 9 rebounds himself, but man, Kessler, Jonesy, with 18 rebounds in the first half to go along with his 6 points, and he just picked up his second foul. Free throw goes down for Barnes. He's got 7 points, 9 boards. Added 2 assists, a block, and a steal. And the second free throw goes in as well. Raptors up 11. 3.5 remaining as Utah looks to get in the ball. KJ Martin flips it back to George. Out on the wing far side, the runner, good if it goes, hits the side of the rim, and Toronto will stride into the half, leading 57-46.
Good half for Toronto. Eric, one of the keys that we talked about, turnovers. 13 for Utah, giving Toronto 15 points. Only 4 for the Raptors, giving up 6 points. But you got to do something about the rebounding. Keep Walker Kessler off the glass, giving them second and third chance opportunities.
Toronto closes the first half on a 15-6 run to again lead by 11. It's 57-46 when we come back. Halftime show with Daniele Franceschi, then Jonesy and I will return for second half action on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050wraps.com for your tickets today.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Craving something fresh, fast, and full of flavor? At Barburrito, you can create millions of delicious combinations to match your mood. Build your perfect burrito, bowl, quesadilla, or taco, bursting with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Whether you love it spicy, packed with veggies, or loaded with all the classics, there's a flavor for everyone. Barburrito is proudly Canadian, serving communities coast to coast, right in your neighborhood. Order today in store or on the Barburrito Canada app.
Barburrito. Food for every mood.
At Desjardins, we speak business. We speak equipment modernization. We're fluent in data digitization and expansion into foreign markets. And we can talk all day about streamlining manufacturing processes. Because at Desjardins Business, we speak the same language you do: business. So join the more than 400,000 Canadian entrepreneurs who already count on us and contact Desjardins today. We'd love to talk business.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena here in downtown Toronto. The Raptors leading the Utah Jazz 57-46 at the half. Welcome into our Toronto Raptors halftime show, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home court advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, proudly built here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today. Daniele Franceschi with you. As I mentioned, Raptors holding a halftime lead, 57-46 over the Utah Jazz. Really interesting first half of basketball. A lot of perhaps unfamiliar faces to fans here in the Toronto market. The likes of Jared Rhoden seeing extended burn. Colin Castleton making his Raptors debut tonight as well. Played in a G League game, in fact, last night for the 905, where he was really productive, I must add. But 9 minutes of action off the bench in that opening frame. Why don't we take a peek at our halftime box score to see where things stand? Jacoby Walter hit a game winner on Tuesday night against Orlando to collect the Raptors' second straight win over the Magic, and he's picked up right where he left off. 14 points in that opening half in 16 minutes of action. 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from deep. Throw in 5 rebounds as well. A really, really well-rounded, balanced effort from the rookie Jacoby Walter in what is another starting opportunity for him tonight with the likes of R.J. Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji. All of those folks unavailable. It's Jacoby Walter getting an expanded role and opportunity tonight. Scotty Barnes, 3 of 10 from the floor, struggling with his scoring touch, but contributing in other ways. 8 points, 9 rebounds, couple assists, couple of blocks as well. Emmanuel quickly got hot in that second quarter. He leads the charge with 15 points in total. 3 of 10 from the floor for him as well, but a perfect 8 for 8 at the foul line. As for Utah, the man to watch, boy, has he been giving them fits on the interior. It's the big fella Walker Kessler, who had 18 rebounds in the opening half tonight. He has 6 points to go along with those game-high 18 rebounds. Just 3 of 5 from the field, but the Raptors, despite having 18 rebounds in the box score for Walker Kessler, only being out-rebounded so far tonight, 32-30. Both teams not shooting the ball particularly well. You see a lot of signs of some good old-fashioned tanking basketball tonight. But you know what? The Raptors, still probably better than a lot of these other teams, unfortunately, they're going to come up against in terms of raw talent. They are executing at a higher clip, and certainly with the likes of Quickly, Barnes, and Jacoby Walter on the floor, so far so good for them in terms of staking themselves to an early 11-point lead here at the recess. We're going to take a quick break, call timeout. On the other side, we'll get you caught up with what's going on around the NBA. 8 games on this Friday night, and we'll also tell you what transpired. A few of the big moves that went down today in the National Hockey League ahead of the 3 p.m. Eastern trade deadline. You're listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca.
Yeah, it's Raps game night, let me set the scene. Got front row seats to go and watch the team. 3 after 3, Raps win the game. We gotta celebrate with a familiar name. Roll up to Mickey D's, my first in line. I see the 95 McFlurry, gotta make it mine. Walk up to the counter, the words I speak. Hey boss, can I get one of those frozen treats? The 95 McFlurry, for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Ontario. McFlurry!
Rogers Xfinity Internet is ready for everything, so you can search and stream and shop and study and share and play and post and work and watch and game and work out and download and... Wow, that's a lot. And now you can save a lot too at the Rogers Spring Event. Visit in-store or Rogers.com and save on Canada's most reliable internet. Get Rogers Xfinity Internet and be ready to do more everything.
Discover more value at Loblaws. Get pork side ribs for $1.99 per pound or a pound of strawberries for $1.99 each. Offer ends March 12th. Conditions apply. See flyer for details. Loblaws, proudly Canadian since 1919.
Golf Town's annual Re-Grip event is back. Get 40% off golf grips from top brands like Golf Pride, Super Stroke, Lambkin, and more. Get golf ready and save today at one of Golf Town's 48 locations or golftown.com. While supplies last, some exclusions apply.
Need to send money in another currency? With Wise, you can send money internationally without hidden fees. From dollars to dong, pounds to pesos, euros to yen, you could save up to 3 times compared to major banks. Send money with Wise in more than 40 currencies without getting ripped off. See how much you could save. Download the Wise app today. Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Taylor, coffee?
Maybe later. My oil furnace is out again.
You should upgrade to an electric heat pump.
Isn't that expensive?
No, it's worth it. It can heat even when it's minus 30, cools when it gets warmer. Plus, there's a government program to help cover most of the costs up front.
Huh, coffee's on me then.
To see if you're eligible for the Oil to Heat Pump Affordability Program, visit canada.ca/heat pumps or call 1-800-O-CANADA. A message from the Government of Canada.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena, where the Raptors lead the Utah Jazz by a score of 57-46 here at halftime. Second half action coming your way in a few minutes with Eric Smith and Paul Jones. Daniele Franceschi with you. Before we say goodbye and get you set for second half action, let's take a peek at our NBA out-of-town scoreboard. 8 games in the association tonight. Right now in Charlotte, the lowly Hornets hanging tough against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the 52-win Cavs, who are currently up by 4 late in the third quarter, but a much closer affair than I'm sure the Cavs expected in a ball game where they're taking on a team with just 14 wins and clearly in tank mode with the Charlotte Hornets. The Dallas Mavericks, they have a halftime lead over the Memphis Grizzlies down in Dallas. No Kyrie Irving, no Anthony Davis. The Mavs trying to do their best to keep up in the Western Conference playoff race. Meanwhile, in OKC, the Thunder early lead over the Portland Trailblazers. That one's in the second quarter. And then our nightcap, we have 3 games beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern. Suns at Nuggets, Spurs at Kings, and then at 10:30, it's the Knicks and the Clippers to round out the day. In the NHL, we had the trade deadline today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. The Maple Leafs, a couple of moves. Brandon Carlo, defenseman acquired from the Boston Bruins. He is on his way to meet the team in Denver, so we'll see when he might join the lineup. And also, up front, adding some depth to their forward group. Scott Lawton, forward from the Philadelphia Flyers, acquired via trade. In both cases, a little bit of salary retention included in the transaction. Tidy piece of business for the Maple Leafs as they gear up for what they hope will be a prosperous playoff run. Coming your way in just a couple of moments, Eric Smith, Paul Jones, they have second half of coverage right here at Scotiabank Arena. The Raptors leading by 11, 57-46 is your score here at the break. Second half coming your way. I'll be back after the ball game. Please, be sure to get your text ready, 590. Please include your name and location, and we'll get you caught up with everything that happens in the second half of this ball game. In the meantime, enjoy second half basketball. You're listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca.
If there's anything we Canadians are proud of, is we support each other. And Access Storage knows this because we're truly Canadian, and your support has made us Canada's leader in storage solutions. Proudly serving our communities for more than 25 years. Thank you. And if you haven't tried us yet,
What's up, Raptors fans? Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you a Raptors fan? Have you not hit the subscribe button yet? Oh, you probably have. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. All of you who have. 81,000. We're about to pass 82. We're on our way up to 100,000 subscribers. 84, 85, 86. Let's keep it going. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for turning on that bell and coming back and hanging out with us every single Raptors game. A lot of good basketball coming up in March. The SEC tournament, possibly. Every single game of March Madness. Every single game of the NBA playoffs. We're going to have a lot of fun here on TSI. Thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming an insider and hitting that subscribe button. Go Raptors, go!
And tomorrow's opportunities. Stepping up for entrepreneurs. We're on it. BDC. Financing, advising, know-how.
itching to head outside as the weather warms up? Just remember, when it's 0 degrees and above, you and your pets aren't the only ones active. For the health of the whole family, make sure you're offering your dog or cat the protection they need. Talk to your veterinarian about all-in-one options today and visit nextguard.ca for some great savings. That's NextGuard, NEXGARD.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Halftime just about over as we get set to start the third quarter. Raptors will begin the frame with a 57-46 lead. Toronto led by as many as 12, up 11 at the break. 15 points for Emmanuel Quickly, 14 points for Jacoby Walter, 9 rebounds, 8 points for Scotty Barnes. Toronto shooting under 33% and being out-rebounded, but leading by 11. They've done a great job, Jonesy, of getting to the line and taking care of business at the stripe and also taking advantage of Utah turnovers.
Broadcaster Jinx, the free throw line. I mean, the Raptors are finally on, well, close to the right side of a free throw discrepancy. And as you said, 17 of 18. Hold the fort.
Quickly lobs one to Barnes in the lane. Went right, spins back left, passes off far sideline. Triple up, no good. That was Walter that missed it. And Utah snags the rebound. Across center they come. Sexton got the rebound, keeps it himself, gets into the paint, hands it off for an open two-hand flush for Kessler. And the Jazz get it into single digits at 9. 57-48. Quickly turns the corner around the screen set by Robinson, gives it back to the big man who cut to the tin. This time did go right into the chest of Kessler. and got the layup to go.
Space is the shot blocker's friend. Take it away. Get into the body.
59-48. Raptors again leading by 11, and a great job down low defensively by Scotty Barnes with the block on KJ Martin. And the Jazz will keep the ball. With 8 on the shot clock, they will inbound on the baseline. We are less than a minute into quarter number 3. Kessler inside the arc near side, hands off to Sexton, sees a seam, gets into the paint, then fires back out on the wing far side, triple up and in for Sensabaugh. Bryce Sensabaugh with 8 points in the ball game. That's his second triple. Cuts the Raptor lead to 8. Down in the block, Scotty Barnes trying to go to school down low, draws in 2 defenders, passed it up to Robbins, who again goes right at Kessler, and Kessler blocked that one and just snagged his 19th rebound. Sexton drives down Main Street, got by Walter, missed the shot but fouled, and he's going to go to the stripe for 2.
Sexton, a guy that loves to push the pace. I mean, he is someone that looks to get right to the bucket, and he's going to come at you the entire game. He's going to keep coming at you. He's sometimes more willed and skilled, but he can play.
Sexton knocks down the first free throw. He's got 10 points in the ballgame, couple of rebounds and 2 assists as well. Awaiting the second free throw. It's up, too strong. And coming over the back cleanly of Robinson to snag away the rebound was Walker Kessler with his 20th. Raptors, though, just picked off the Jazz, quickly got in the pass lane, down the floor with a 2-hand flush. Looked like there was contact as well, but the jam for Quickly has Toronto leading by 9.
Well, make sure 2 hands for safety as IQ did the job there.
Now another Utah turnover as the Jazz whipped the ball into the near corner, and KJ Martin stepped out of bounds as that back foot stepped on the baseline on the sideline, and the Jazz turned it over for a 15th time. Turnaround jumper, far side, no good on about a 15-footer for Scotty Barnes. Utah with the rebound down the floor, and Collier trying to lead Sensabaugh just turned it over again, and the Raptors will get the ball back. 16 turnovers for the Utah Jazz, and we are 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the second half. Raptors with only 4 miscues tonight. Jacoby Walter sitting down getting a breather as Jared Rhoden comes into the ballgame. Quickly in the lane, stops on a dime, floats one up. Kessler got a piece of that one, and the Jazz come away with the ball. We've got him now unofficially with 4 blocks and 20 rebounds. Walker Kessler, far side jumper is no good for Utah. Sexton missed that one. Raptors grab the rebound and push ahead. Here's Jared Rhoden weaving through the paint. A wild scoop, no good, but put back in and guided into the tin by A.J. Lawson.
I like Lawson too. You know, again, there's so many good young players, so much good young talent. Lawson and Rhoden out there with Quickly. That's a pretty dynamic trio on the perimeter.
Look out. KJ Martin was just dropped from the ceiling on an alley-oop dunk.
Always could fly, just like his old man.
And back the other way, Scotty Barnes fouled on the floor. He felt the contact, threw up the shot, was hoping to get the deuce and one, but they say, nope, the foul was committed. The whistle blew before you took the shot. So it's a sideline out of bounds for the Raptors with 9:10 to go in the third quarter. Scotty gets it into Quickly, straightaway 3-ball, back rim, no good. And the Raptors snag the rebound as Lawson gives it to Rhoden, back to Quickly, bust it. North side triple is good, and the Raptors stretch the lead back up to 12, matching their largest lead.
Great energy from some of the guys who, well, listen, they're not only auditioning for the Raptors, but they're auditioning for 29 other teams right now.
Utah comes back and gets a deuce from Sexton right near the 10, about a 2-footer. Cuts the Raptor lead to 10 at 66-56. Quickly drops one to Robinson, felt the presence of Kessler, and threw it wildly off glass. Here come the Jazz in the near corner. Sensabaugh up fake, sets the feet, drops the triple right in front of his own bench, and just like that, 5 straight for the Jazz to cut the Raptor lead to 7. 8:15 to go, third quarter. Orlando Robinson hands off on the perimeter to Quickly, straight away with the 3, knocks it down again. dialed in with back-to-back triples for Toronto.
Really good decision by Robinson. You could see he had a thought in his eye. Do I shoot this one? Then saw IQ wheeling off the weak side pin down. Gave it to him for the easy three.
Ticking under 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter with the Raptors leading by 10. Sexton in the lane, hands off to Kessler. Kessler tried to go up and under with the layup, missed it, but then tipped his own miss back in. He's got 21 rebounds with 7:40 to go in the third. And floating to the baseline, falling out of bounds because he was hit. Scotty Barnes just sort of threw it up over his back, over his shoulders, and he was fouled, and he will go to the stripe with the foul coming in on Walker Kessler. That'll be his second. Check that. It's going to be KJ Martin with the foul. That will be his second.
Well, Scotty did a nice job of getting in. Again, we talk about it, getting into the body of the defense, taking away the space.
First free throw is good for Scotty. Barnes misses on the second one. Raptor lead is 9. And then as we go the other way, Utah gets a quick deuce. They got it down the floor in a hurry, and Orlando Robinson was called for a goaltend as he tried to make the play at the last second. Utah trailing by 7. Raptors try to push it to 10, but no good on a corner three. But then the Jazz turn the ball over in the backcourt, and the Raptors get it right back quickly. In the far corner, the Lawson for 3, missed that one. Put back jam by Jared Rhoden. Talk about getting dropped from the ceiling. He flew in out of nowhere.
Listen, Eric, you and I were in training camp in Montreal, and I liked the kid when I saw him there. I thought he's gonna either break somebody's heart by making the team or get himself another gig.
And again on the other end.
Great pass by Scotty Rhoden, doing a nice job running the lane.
6:45 to go in the third. Utah can't answer back with a triple. Raptors grab the rebound quickly ahead to Rhoden. On the baseline near side to Barnes. Tried to weave through traffic. Late whistle comes in on a foul. And immediately KJ Martin is waving his finger saying no. He wants the Utah bench to challenge that one. We will see if they opt to do so or not. Toronto has called a timeout with 6:40 to go in the quarter. And the Raptors leading by 11. 74-63 is the score. We will continue with the third frame on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Craving something fresh, fast, and full of flavor? At Barburrito, you can create millions of delicious combinations to match your mood. Build your perfect burrito, bowl, quesadilla, or taco, bursting with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Whether you love it spicy, packed with veggies, or loaded with all the classics, there's a flavor for everyone. Barburrito is proudly Canadian, serving communities coast to coast, right in your neighborhood. Order today in store or on the Barburrito Canada app.
Barburrito, food for every mood.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, 74-63. The Raptors leading the Jazz. 6:40 to go in the third quarter on 2000s night. And I look up at the big board, and there's some kind of promotion going on involving the Wu-Tang Clan, who will be coming to Scotiabank Arena. I believe it's July 14th. If anybody wants to get me a gift, tickets to Wu-Tang Clan would be most appreciated. I would love to see that farewell tour.
Do they come through Vegas? That's around Summer League time, you know? Scott Morrison, our good friend, assistant coach for the Utah Jazz, has a foundation going that benefits autism.
Yep.
And he's whispering to me, he says, Jonesy, I know you and Eric both golf.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. He goes, you guys come to Summer League? I'm thinking of having a little do out there, a little golf do out there for Summer League to support the foundation. I said, we're always game. I'm not sure how we're getting there, but send us the info. So that's why I'm asking if Wu-Tang is like, you might have to see him in Henderson, Nevada or something.
I know they're in Vancouver. I'm just thinking of the Canadian dates, but we could fire up the site and find out where they are. Seeing them in Vegas would be nice. Seeing them anywhere would be great.
It's a career high, right, for Walker Kessler? 22nd, tied it anyway.
Tied it, yep. It was set just a month ago against the Phoenix Suns on February 7th. Floater in the lane is good on a one-hander from Colin Sexton. Raptor lead is 10. Shed gives it up to Barnes on the baseline. He's cut off by Martin. Double team comes. Scotty passes back out on the perimeter to Lawson, who missed the three ball, and down low. We're going to have a foul away from the ball.
Loose ball foul, I think, on Martin. He was.
Oh, I apologize, Jonesy. I was looking down low. Castleton had a bear hug on Kessler, and I thought they were going to call him.
No, they got it on KJ Martin doing the offensive line blocking, face guarding, as I said, on Scotty Barnes.
I thought we were getting like a hacka walker or something. I don't know what was happening down there because Castleton had a full-on bear hug around Walker Kessler.
Save that, though, for later in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. 6:05 to go here, third quarter. A.J. Lawson has it straight away. Now turns the corner, whips it back over his shoulder to Shed, far corner. Gave it up on another pass. That one missed by Jared Roden. And battling for the rebound. We're going to have a foul going against Jamison Battle on a loose ball foul.
A little push in the back.
(75-65). The Raptor lead is 10 as we now tick past the halfway point of quarter number 3. And guess what? Another Jazz turnover, their 17th of the game. And we're going back the other way with the Raptors. Lawson out at center court, whips it over on the wing far side to Shed. Shed now weaving into the paint, goes over on the near side to Battle. Back up top to Lawson. Good look at a three. A.J. Lawson missed that one, and the Jazz pulled down the rebound. Collier over to George. George has it back to Collier on the wing far side. Collier cut off by Lawson, and then jumping into the pass lane to take it away was Lawson, but unfortunately couldn't keep it inbound on that far sideline. So Utah will continue to have the ball with 11 on the shot clock. Raptors never established possession.
You look at these 5 guys on the floor for the Raptors: Castleton, Battle, Roden, Shed, and Lawson, all playing for something to show what they can do in this league.
And Jonesy on the inbound pass, an offensive foul going against Utah that's going to be called against George, Keontae George, for yet another turnover. Jacoby Walter with a right quad strain will not return. We're just getting that from Raptors media relations. So having a solid night, but unfortunately he'll be sidelined for the rest of this one. Again, a quad strain for Jacoby Walter has him out for the rest of the evening. The injuries continue to mount for the Raptors.
Soft tissue injury, and that you just don't know what time frame there is around that in terms of in terms of getting back into the lineup. It's too bad because the youngster got his chance and was playing well.
At the stripe, Lawson knocks down the second one. 1 of 2 at the line for Lawson, as the Raptor lead sits now at 76-65. And again, the Jazz turn it over on a push, an offensive foul. And we're going the other way. The Jazz now have committed 19 turnovers in the game. And veteran Garrett Temple is checking into the ball game. Proud papa, his third child just born a few days ago. Shed driving on the far side all the way to the tin with a right-hand scoop on the left side. He got it to go. Turned on the Jets, and Utah caught flat-footed. Shed trying to fight through screens up top on the perimeter, trying to stay with Keontae George, who now whips it over into the near corner. The triple up, no good. That was Juzang that missed that one, but he follows his own miss and lays it back in.
Johnny Juzang doing a good job of tracking it down. The old adage, follow your shot. You're the one that knows if you missed and where it's going.
So Juzang on the board with 4 points as the Raptors back the other way. Come up empty on a floater, no good. Hit the back rim from Jamal Shed from about 11 feet. Raptors up 78-67. Triple, straight away, good. And that's Filipowski. He had a hot hand in the first half. Had 12, he's now got 15.
Become one of those kind of classic stretch bigs we talked to Jason Kapono about first part of the ball game.
Colin Castleton in his first game with the Raptors hands off to Jamison Battle on the wing near side. Turns and fires and knocks down the lefty triple to get the three right back. Raptors reestablish their 11-point lead. George, Keontae George for Utah, pulls up straight away, air ball. And we're going the other way, and he's starting to hear it from a few members here at Scotiabank Arena.
Georgia guy you and I saw a couple years ago, Eric, at Global Jam, Canada Basketball.
Yep.
And he was a first-round pick of the Jazz, probably about 3 or 4 picks after Grady Dick.
81-70, Raptors leading. Their lead was as high as 13 in this quarter. Shed to Castleton in the lane. A little floater, no good from about 8 feet. Missed the shot. We go back the other way. That's his first attempt of the game. Colin Castleton in his first appearance with 5 rebounds and 3 assists, but looking for that first bucket in a Raptor uniform. Raptors up by 11. A nice contest down low by Castleton as Juzang came up empty. And back the other way comes Toronto with this 11-point lead. 3:05 to go in the quarter. And as Shed got into the lane, he was fouled. And we're going to get a couple of free throws for the Raptor guard, Jamal Shed.
Nice job by Jamal. He's so good at changing speeds on that dribble and getting into the lane.
You know, Jonesy, I mentioned earlier with that unfortunate news that we just got about Jacoby Walter and the quad strain. He will now join a list that includes Ochai Agbaji, left ankle sprain, R.J. Barrett out tonight for rest, but Ulrich Shamshe out with a right knee. He's done for the year with the partial tear in the MCL. Grady Dick sidelined with a bone bruise in the right knee. We're still awaiting Brandon Ingram to make his Raptor debut with the left ankle. Jonathan Mobo with a nasal fracture, and Chris Boucher sidelined after getting his wisdom tooth pulled and having some dental issues. Wow. How many of you guys did I just missed there? Oh, and Jakob Poeltl out with rest as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now 9 with Jacoby Walter. 9 injured or sidelined Raptors as Toronto leads 83-70 with 2:56 to go in the third quarter. We will step aside for the break as Toronto leads by 13 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
When you sit on your Aeroplan points, it's like you're sitting on your next trip, like a sunny getaway by the sea. But instead, you're sitting on your Aeroplan points. So the only sea you get to sit in is a sea of traffic. Use your points and go from smelling your Ocean Breeze air freshener to smelling the ocean breeze. So, stop sitting on your next trip and start enjoying your Aeroplan points.
We all want to plan for retirement, but sometimes life has other plans. Kids, career changes, renovations, and repairs. Just know you're not alone, and it's never too late to start planning. Visit canada.ca/retirement to explore public pension programs, calculators, quizzes, tools, and more to help you plan for a financially secure retirement. A message from the Government of Canada.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 2:56 to go in the third quarter. The Raptors leading by 13. It's 83-70. Jonesy, this is one of those games that you look at the numbers, and sometimes numbers lie. From a Raptors perspective, if I were to tell you, and you hadn't watched any of the game, that Toronto would be out-rebounded, they'd be getting outscored in the paint, they'd be shooting a lower percentage, in fact, shooting less than 35%, shooting only 25% on the perimeter, you would probably tell me that they were losing the game. But yet they've got a 13-point lead, thanks in large part to 19 turnovers by the Utah Jazz. The Raptors have scored 20 points off those miscues. And for one of the rare times this season, the Raptors have not only outscored their opponent, they have hammered their opponent at the free throw line, beating the Jazz by 10 at the stripe right now. Utah getting the ball in on the far sideline. They work it into the near corner. And then slowly weaving his way to the tin and missing on a floater was Potter. And the Raptors come away with the ball.
Great save by Garrett Temple under his own basket and looking where he was sending it, getting it to Jamison Battle.
Tough catch in traffic by Castleton, and unfortunately couldn't squeeze ultimately and did indeed turn it over. That was a tough pass though. And now coming the other way for Utah, Juzang was fouled and he's going to go to the free throw line.
And you get back in transition matchup, find the guy that has the ball, slow him down, and then fan out to the perimeter.
So Johnny Juzang heads to the free throw line for his first attempts of the ball game. He's got 4 points and a couple of rebounds as Utah trails by 13. Juzang going to try and chop into it a little bit, and he won't on the first one as it rolls off the rim with Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel quickly checking back in. Jared Rhoden and Jamison Battle will sit down. A solid crowd on a Friday night, and it's the first of two straight with the Raptors playing at home tomorrow against the Washington Wizards. 2 straight against the Wiz tomorrow, and then again on Monday with that mini baseball series, Toronto and Washington. Second free throw good. Raptor lead is now 12 at 83-71. Castleton in the near corner to Garrett Temple. Veteran 3-ball, no good. Castleton grabs the rebound. Second chance now. Shed, free throw line. Near corner, Scotty Barnes, up fake, along the baseline. To the tin! Look out! Scotty Barnes went right at Kyle Filipowski and got a monster cram to put Toronto up 14, their largest lead.
Well, the flyby by Potter didn't do Utah any favors.
Shed to Scotty. Back to Shed in the near corner in front of his own bench. It rolled off the rim, no good. Utah with the rebound. Raptors leading 85-71. 1:35 to go here in the third quarter. Keontae George, Barnes in front of him. Scotty's got 12 points, 10 boards. Into the paint, stopping on a dime, then losing the handle was Utah. That was Potter that turned it over. Here comes Toronto. Going at the tin, laying it in. Scotty Barnes taking bodies with him. He just dragged 2 defenders with him and got it to go.
Well, they zero resistance. He dribbled right past them.
Near corner 3-ball in front of his own bench. Williams got it to go. Cody Williams with the 3 cuts the Raptor lead from 16 to 13. We tick towards the final minute. Barnes has it to Quickly. Straight away above the arc. Now dips around the Castleton screen. Steps into a long jumper. Missed that one. No, he didn't. It danced around the rim. glass, rim, and in as he skips back on defense with his third triple of the game.
I think the Raptors got away with one there as Jamal Shead came in and had a little bit of the mesh. That said,
take it and run.
I'm going to give it to you. Take it. Look a gift horse in the mouth.
16-point lead for the Raptors, largest of the game. Keontae George into the paint. Bumped. I believe that should have been on the floor. Are they going to give him continuation? They are.
Yeah.
Bucket and one for Keontae George. Huh. That will close, or at least put a bit of a gap on a 12-4 Raptor run. As George steps to the stripe for his 7th attempt in this ballgame. He's got 9 points, 5 boards, 5 assists off the bench, filling up the stat sheet for the Jazz. Despite Utah trailing by 14, George will try to make it 13. A couple moments ago, the triple from Emmanuel Quickley allowed him to tally a season-high 26 points. And that could still continue on here as we are not even into the fourth quarter yet. George on the near side, a little shifty with the dribble, is bumped and hit by Toronto. That's going to be a foul on Jamal Shead. That'll be his 4th, and straight back to the stripe for Keontae George. It's not that he's played poorly, Jonesy, by any means. Not the kind of game we've sort of become accustomed to seeing from Jamal Shead.
I wonder if his role, his mindset has changed more with different people on the floor, trying to get them the ball. I mean, he's on the floor with Quickley right now, so that's kind of a Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas situation. 2 point guards together. Yep. One guy takes it one time. You're a lead guard. You're a 2 guard. Although if the coach doesn't have any confidence in you to play that way, he'll sit you down. And then now Scotty Barnes is handling the ball with time winding down, so you're both moving away from the ball.
Last shot time for the Raptors, leading by 12. Game clock down to 6 seconds. Driving on the far side, stopping at a dime, floating up the shot, missing, and following his own miss to tip it in with a left hand off glass, Scotty Barnes. What a bucket for Scotty. Raptors by 14. The heave is good if it goes from center court. Cody Williams comes up empty, and Toronto will head to the final frame with a 14-point lead. They build it from 11 at half to 14 after 3.
Really nice job winning the quarter, and we've seen the shooting percentage basically stay where it is as the Raptors keep getting help from Utah with the turnovers.
Fourth quarter action comes next with Toronto up 92-78 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
At Tangerine, we're fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Gary, who lies with reckless abandon every time he's invited out on game night, so he doesn't have to miss game night. Sorry, it's mating season for my pet squid. My e-scooter is out of gas. I ate a beanless burrito. My shoulder blade feels dull. I'm traveling to the 16th century. That's how Gary fans, and we're fans of Gary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Hi, Keith here from Speedy Glass. Are you tired of staring at that crack in your windshield? What are you waiting for? It's time to let our team at Speedy Glass take care of everything for you. Our experts will replace your windshield and recalibrate your front camera during the same appointment. No hassle, no second visit. We'll even submit your insurance claim so you don't have to. It's easy. All you have to do is book your appointment today at speedyglass.ca.
Speedy Glass Repair. Speedy Glass Replace.
Life's noisy enough. Everything demands your attention. So here's something rare. Silence. It's underappreciated. Kind of like windows from Magic. You simply unlock the handle and push them open all the way. No cranks, no problems. While others add to the noise, Magic cuts right through it. Find out more at magicwindow.ca.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Fourth quarter action right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network as we get set to begin the final frame with the Raptors leading by 14. Jonesy, solid effort so far for the Raptors. Despite their offense, their numbers may be struggling. They've been able to fill in all the other gaps and really put in a strong effort overall.
You can beat the numbers to say anything you want, but the number on the scoreboard now is in Toronto's favor, and I just think, especially the young guys, really acquitting themselves well, playing very hard.
Utah starts the final frame with the ball, and they cut the Raptor lead to 12 on a jumper from 13 feet near side Cody Williams. Off the bench with 5 for the Jazz. Scotty Barnes in the ball game, drives into the paint, uses his strength and goes right into the chest of Filipowski and got it to go. And Filipowski outruns Scotty down the floor and beats him to the tin and gets a quick deuce back for the Jazz. Don't like to see that.
No, you got to get back. Got to get back.
Now, to Scotty's credit, he quickly got down the floor and pressed right into the heart of the Utah defense, takes a foul from Potter. And that'll be his second as Micah Potter takes the foul and sends Scotty Barnes to the free throw line for attempts 7 and 8 in this ballgame. Raptors leading 94-82. Again, it's the front night of the back-to-back for the Raptors, hosting Washington tomorrow and Monday, with the Raptors playing 3 games in 4 nights.
Good thing is they get to sleep in their own beds. I mean, that's about the only good part of it.
Barnes at the stripe extends the lead to 96-82 after going 2 of 2. Out of nowhere, Scotty, after the slow start, suddenly up to 20 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. Filling up the stat sheet all over the place as Utah comes down the floor, driving far side along the baseline. Sexton fouled, and he's going to go back to the stripe for attempts 7 and 8. We have seen 55 total free throw attempts, and we still got 11 minutes to go in the ballgame. 38 fouls called in this game. As Sexton misses the first free throw, the Jazz tonight just 15 of 28 at the stripe.
You talk about big numbers, Eric. A couple seasons ago, actually it was January 12th of last year, the Raptors and the Jazz combined for
Barnes back, missing the layup.
A ton of three-point attempts, and both of them hitting for a combined total of 60%.
Do you have the total on the attempts?
I'm gonna have to dig for it
because tonight the two teams have attempted 64 three-pointers.
Yeah, well,
but they're nowhere near the percentage as they both are below 30.
This is the highest combined three-point percentage in a game by the Raptors, and it's number 1 all-time at 49.4% in the loss to Utah in Utah, but a lot of threes going up that night.
Cody Williams got a triple for the Jazz. Raptors got back a quick deuce from Quickly on an 11-footer, and now Sexton comes down the floor and got the 9-footer to go. Raptors leading by 10. It was as high as 16. 2 minutes gone by here, fourth quarter. It's 98-88, Raptors on top. Quickly, over in the far corner. Open look on a 3 ball. It's good for Jared Rhoden.
Really good looking stroke.
He's got 14 off the bench for the Raptors in 20 minutes of action. Raptors leading by 13, and they're going to call Rhoden now on a foul on the perimeter. That'll be his third. It'll be Utah ball on the near side with 15 on the shot clock. Colin Castleton's going to sit down, still in search of that first Raptor bucket, but still playing well. 6 boards, 4 assists in his debut.
Yeah, he's acquitted himself well. He has shown well, been solid, not out of position defensively, and you talked about the rebounds, Eric, 6 rebounds.
Orlando Robinson came back into the ballgame, just picked up the foul as Keontae George buried his head, went right into the chest of the backpedaling Robinson, and George is going to go to the free throw line. 101-88 with 9:37 to go in the ballgame. So Keontae George gets set to head to the stripe. How about attempts 10 and 11 for Keontae George.
He's very shifty with the ball. Can break you down, can create, and the result of that creating sometimes is when you're not finishing, you're getting free throws.
Coming out of the ball game, Emmanuel quickly, Scotty Barnes. They could be done for the night. We shall see. With 9:37 to go, as George takes care of business at the stripe, and the Jazz are going to call a timeout.
Orlando Robinson's bleeding.
All right.
He got
infection control.
Yeah, he got clipped on that last drive.
Yeah, on the right cheek, below the eye.
Referee Jason Goebel blowing the whistle and saying, hang on.
So again, the infection control rule in effect with 9:37 to go, and the Raptors seeing their lead cut to 12 at 101-89. Toronto eclipsing the century mark with still plenty of time to go. That means that folks are getting a free slice tomorrow, so I'm sure fans are happy about that one. JR doesn't have to pay for his lunch tomorrow. Jamal Shed, Jared Rhoden on the floor for the Raptors alongside veteran Garrett Temple. Orlando Robinson. And who's the fifth? Oh, in the far corner, it's Jamison Battle. He's hiding behind that mask in the far corner.
The masked man.
Assuming he gets out there and returns to the floor soon, I think Jonathan Mobile is going to be wearing a mask as well with that nasal fracture. Again, we listed the names a couple of minutes ago. The Raptors are just ravaged by injuries right now. And you add tonight, Jacoby Walter was having a magnificent night with 14 points, 5 boards. And he's now out with a quad injury. 9 players sidelined for the Raptors for tonight's game. Shed to a cutting Garrett Temple, and unfortunately he blew the layup on a scoop shot. But Orlando Robinson keeps it alive in the backcourt, and the Raptors will get another opportunity. Robinson leans in. Nice bounce pass down low to Temple. Temple on the block, goes up high to Rhoden. Rhoden tried to cross up George, now driving to the tin, muscles his way, missed the shot, tapped out, and Temple was unable to squeeze it, taken away by Keontae George, who then dances through traffic, lays it in, and cuts the Raptor lead to 10.
Really nice move by Keontae George. Tough to stop a guy like that coming downhill, and the Raptors, boy, they had their opportunities at the other end.
Robinson, bounce pass to Shed, right back to Robinson, down Main Street. Met midair by Cody Williams. They say play on, and unfortunately Robinson missed the floater. Jazz have a chance now to cut it into single digits, but they promptly dribble it off their feet. That was Filipowski on the far sideline. Turned it over for the 22nd time tonight for the Jazz. And the Raptors get the ball with 8:35 to go. How about the turnovers tonight? 22 for the Jazz, only 5 turnovers, Jonesy, for the Raptors.
I'll have to check to see. That's approaching a season low for the Raptors. Really nice job, even with a lot of players injured and a disjointed lineup, to be able to keep the turnovers down, keeping it simple.
$8:35 to go in the ball game. Utah digs in defensively as Jamal Shed brings it across center for the Raptors out on the far side.
Low turnovers, 7 this year for Toronto in the game against Chicago.
Shed in the near corner. Jamison Battle 3, man, that stroke is so clean.
I'm telling you, I look at Jamison Battle and he grows in his role with Toronto. You could say he's Toronto's version of Sam Hauser. I keep saying that, and the way he shoots it, he's got a license to shoot it.
Keontae George trying to answer back, can't do so for the Jazz, but Utah gets the rebound. Second chance opportunity. Sexton throws it up, misses it, and down low Robinson comes away with the ball and then smartly turns and throws it off Walker Kessler out of bounds, and it will be Toronto ball. Heads up play there by Orlando Robinson. 104-91.
Raptors playing to their strength there. 24 fast break points. I'm sure a lot of them coming off the turnovers by Utah.
And we got a timeout on the floor. It looks like the Jazz are asking for a review. I wonder if maybe when Robinson threw it off Kessler, if it then hit Robinson again. So the officials are going to have a look at this one as we've got the green light special for the Jazz. 7:55 to go. Toronto leading 104-91 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Craving something fresh, fast, and full of flavor? At Barburrito, you can create millions of delicious combinations to match your mood. Build your perfect burrito, bowl, quesadilla, or taco, bursting with bold flavors and fresh ingredients. Whether you love it spicy, packed with veggies, or loaded with all the classics, there's a flavor for everyone. Barburrito is proudly Canadian, serving communities coast to coast, right in your neighborhood. Order today in store or on the Barburrito Canada app.
Barburrito, food for every mood.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask.
What's up, Raptors fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight for the Raptors game. Come on, We the North. We need you in the chat cheering on our team as we fight to try and get at least a spot in that playoff tournament. We'll play in tournament to get into the playoffs, which, reminder, will be live every single game of the NBA playoffs right here on Toronto Sports Insider. So that's what we do. We hang out together and watch sports, listen to sports, talk about sports, and change the world one insider at a time, because we have the Bracket Mania campaign for SickKids Hospital coming up as well with March Madness. Please hit that like button. Please share this link out. Let's get more basketball fans here in the chat cheering on We the North. Now let's get back to the basketball. Go Raptors, go!
Reset to 24.
Oh, nice.
Mark
Clean,
Lindsay.
smooth explanation from Mark Lindsay.
Even with the horn going off in the background, just
smartly paused, waited, continued. Sign of a future broadcaster, perhaps. Taking that extra camera time, why not? Shout out to Mark Lindsay.
one of those guys on the rules committee. Like, who's the guy in the NFL all the time? Oh, it's like the same guy. It's like one guy that does.
Now Utah, after getting the ball back, they get a deuce from Walker Kessler, and that cuts the Raptor lead to 104-93. 11-point advantage with 7:35 to go in the ballgame. Toronto looking for a third straight victory after getting two in Orlando, and they were that close to losing both those games to the Magic. Orlando Robinson just gobbled up by Kessler on another block. That's his sixth of the game. Tell you what, we could be approaching triple-double territory with the blocks for Kessler. Again, he's still got to get 4 more in only 7 minutes, but still, he's got 10 points, a career-high 23 rebounds, and 6 blocks.
He's been a force, no question, tonight.
Utah got the deuce to cut the Raptor lead into single digits. Triple on the wing, no good for Toronto, as the Raptors were not able to come up with that one. Shed missed from 25 feet. Utah got the rebound. And a loose ball foul in the backcourt against Orlando Robinson. That'll be his second. And he's going to come out of the ballgame now as Colin Castleton's going to try and battle against Kessler. Raptors leading 104-95. The lead was as high as 16. Utah has it down to 9, looking for more right here as Sexton brings it up across center, hands off to Collier, back to Sexton, near side. Got to step on Roden, got toward the painted area, turns, fires at the elbow, near side, missed it. Rebound down to Shed. In the far corner, over to Roden. Back over to Shed on the wing, up top straight away, it's Temple. Temple puts it on the floor, drives in, nice lob pass down low, and unfortunately recovering for his 7th block was Kessler as he gobbled up Castleton, and down the floor the Jazz get the deuce on a scoop and a foul and a 3-point opportunity coming for KJ Martin.
Well, on the previous possession, I thought Roden did a nice job of staying in front of Sexton, challenging the shot. They get the miss, they go the other way. But Walker Kessler has just been a menace in the lane to any Raptor coming in.
He has tied his career high with 7 blocks. And I should note, as I was corrected, that the career high 23 rebounds is apparently a regular season career high. So now we got to scramble and see if that's overall. Has he even been in the playoffs? That would be. They haven't been in the playoffs since he's been in the league,
I don't know how
right?
he could be in the playoffs.
Well,
Were they in a play-in?
I don't believe so. I'm gonna have to scramble to double check that, but I don't think that Kessler's ever played in a postseason game. Raptor lead is 106-98. And Toronto just forced another Utah turnover as the Jazz have been real sloppy with the ball tonight. Shed, unfortunately, just gave it back. Toronto's 6th turnover.
He had 2 3-point shooters waiting on the far side, and Battle and Roden, and he threw it. He threw it right between them. Field goal good, and I guess in the spirit of unselfishness, neither of them thought it was for them.
How about another shout out on a milestone? Garrett Temple just notched moments ago his 600th career steal.
Wow.
5:40 to go in the ball game. Raptors leading 106-98. Temple on the hip of Sensabaugh right now. He spins away from it, was looking for the lob pass in the lane. It was snuffed out and swatted away by Castleton. But the Jazz get the ball right back, and underneath, Kessler is fouled, and he's going to go to the free throw line. That's Garrett Temple with the foul, sending Walker Kessler back to the stripe.
Ball bounced right back into their hands after being knocked away, and with the numbers advantage, they get the ball to Kessler. I would say not a bad foul if you're the Raptors, knowing that Walker Kessler shoots it at under 60%.
Yeah, under 55 even. And he's 0 for 4 tonight. Let's take the break, come back. With 5:24 to go, Raptors leading by 8. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 5:24 to go in the ball game. Raptors leading 106-98. Again, as I mentioned, Raptors in search of their 3rd straight victory. And Jonesy, it's interesting when you think about the standings. Raptors come in still in the bottom 5 in the league. But right now, they are only 1 game behind both the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. So Toronto could vault up to the 11th spot. And they are 4.5 back of the Chicago Bulls for the 10th seed and a chance at the play-in. Some fans don't want that at all. Others say, yeah, let's get there if we can. First free throw goes in for Walker Kessler. That's his first make at the stripe tonight.
And he's shaking his head as that thing hit every bit of rim and rolled around and touched it before it went down.
If I'm not mistaken, just doing a quick scan, neither Philly nor Brooklyn play tonight. So even if the Raptors win, they could only pick up a half game. So they will stay where they are in the East, win or lose. Quickly into the paint to Scotty Barnes. Barnes spinning away from a defender, going at two more, meets Kessler, missed the shot, gets his own miss back though, battled Kessler, got the bucket, and heads back on D.
That is so tough. Intimidated, missed the shot by the shot blocker, no problem, I'll get the rebound, and you won't intimidate me on the second one.
The Raptor lead was cut to 6. They built it back to 8. And now Keontae George with a beautiful spin move, left-hand scoop. That was a pretty bucket for the youngster, chopping it back to 6. Here comes Quickly in the lane, far corner. Roden, 3 ball, no good. Check that it was Lawson. And we're back the other way with the Jazz. They've got a chance to get this down to 4, maybe 3. But unfortunately for the Jazz, the Raptors grab the turnover quickly. Triple wing near side, busted. And again, he skipped back into defensive mode off his 5th triple, stretching the lead to 9.
2-on-1 fast break, a guy pulls up for 3 and knocks it out. Gotta love the game these days, but hey, when it's a guy like Quickly shooting it and it's wide open, you're okay with it. I really am. I know it's not conventional, but
he's got 31 points in the ballgame, Emmanuel Quickly. Utah.
That's why I'm okay with him shooting it.
Coming back the other way with the ball, the Jazz gave it up, and the Raptors now trying to put more on the board. Quickly had his pass for Lawson knocked away, but it's picked up by Castleton. Out on the perimeter to Quickly, who buries another triple. He's got 34. He's got the whole bench skipping now.
6 of 12 from distance.
Timeout called by the Jazz. They had cut it to 6, and they had the ball. And just like that, the Raptors respond, put 6 more on the board, and it's a 12-point lead for the Raptors.
You know, we talked about it with Jason Kapono. The 3 ball, when to use it, the kind of, I don't know, lack of consistent defense these days. But let's face it, when you have a guy like Emmanuel Quickly who shoots the 3 ball as well as he does, it just seems like every time he lets it go, he's got a chance to knock it down. He's shooting 38% on the season. Yeah, I'll live with those. I'll live with those.
Quickly tonight, 10 of 19 from the floor, including the 6 of 12 that Jonesy just told us about. 8 of 8 at the free throw line, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Toronto leading 114-102, 3:24 to go in the ball game. Raptors break free from the huddle with Quickly and Barnes on the floor alongside Castleton, Shed, and Lawson. And a reach in out on the perimeter. Jamal Shed doesn't like the call. Got a little too handsy apparently on Keontae George. He is whistled for his 5th foul. And that's going to send Keontae George to the line again with 3:15 to go. 2 free throws coming for Keontae George. The youngster has been to the line 11 times already. Attempts 12 and 13 will be coming right here. He's got 16 points off the bench, make it 17. As the first one goes down. 114-103. Raptors lead by 11. Now make it 10 as the second free throw goes down. 36 free throw attempts tonight for the Jazz, thanks to 27 fouls called against the Raptors. Near corner, Shed tried to get to the baseline, cut off by George. And Keontae George with a big smile on his face as he made the strong defensive play. Late in the shot clock, it's down to 4. Quickly, he's going to send one deep from the wing far side over Kessler. Missed it. Castleton down low, taps it out to Shed. Second chance opportunity. Castleton still in search of his first Raptor bucket. Shed lobs it down to Scotty Barnes on the block near side. Double team comes. He was looking for Castleton, and his pass was picked off.
Well, deflected, high hands. Yep. High hands come and approach with active and high hands.
George turning the corner into the paint, kept it himself, missed the scoop shot down low. Kessler's battling, and it's going to go off Raptor fingertips out of bounds, so ultimately it still does stay with the Jazz. Kessler with 24 rebounds in the game, adding 7 blocks and 14 points. 2:26 to go. Jazz down 10. Filipowski on the wing near side missed the 3-ball. Kessler got hands but couldn't squeeze, and down the floor come the Raptors. Barnes ahead to Shed, and a great job adjusting midair to get away from the defender to scoop it up and in, and the Raptors lead by 12. Shed with 8 points, 5 assists off the bench. Filipowski on the near sideline. Now bringing it to the baseline. Trying to go up and under. Instead, hands off to Kessler, who dunks it down, and the foul. And
Kessler doing a nice job as the big man presenting himself. I always tell the big guy, guard drives baseline. You get to that dotted line and make sure that you present yourself. Exactly what Walker Kessler did. Hey, he's kind of a classic big man. Airballs a free throw there.
Classic big man. 16 points for Walker Kessler. Only 2 of 7 at the free throw line, but 7 of 10 from the floor, adding 24 rebounds. But his team is down by 10. Little room for error on either end right now for the Jazz. Raptors staring down the barrel of a 3rd straight victory. Quickly to Shed, back to Quickly, out on the far wing. Gets a step on George, into the paint. Hands it back to Castleton, who turns, fires, and there it is. His first bucket as a Raptor, Colin Castleton.
And all the Raptor bench up dancing and celebrating with him. Just tells you something about this team, Eric, how they pull for one another. You know, it's how it should be on a team. You fight together and you fight for one another.
And a backcourt violation against the Jazz. They were not aware of the clock. Game clock will be reset to 1:34. It's at 1:32 right now, so they got to add 2 more seconds. 24 turnovers in the game for the Utah Jazz. Jamison Battle's going to check back into the ball game. And he's coming in without his mask. He forgot it. And now, luckily, a member of the Raptors staff comes over and hands him that mask. Puts it on, adjusts the straps, and tosses the ball into Shed. As Quickly checks out of the ball game with a season-high 34 points. Barnes sits down with 22 points, 12 boards, 6 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. A monster night for both Quickly and Barnes. Shed out on the far wing. He's got Filipowski out on the perimeter. Now switched up, he's got Kessler trying to work against the big man. Drives in the paint, leans in on Kessler, and Kessler still snuffed it out with his 8th block and looks down and smiles and laughs at Shed. And he gives the youngster and the smaller player some credit for at least trying.
Well, you knew what Shed did. Shed went right into him with his left shoulder to try to back him off, and Kessler still had enough size to get there.
It's a career-high 8 blocks for Walker Kessler. He's 2 away from a points, rebounds, blocks triple-double, but he's going to need 2 stuffs in the final 110. A monster performance individually, but it looks like it will likely come on a night where his team loses. With the Raptors up 12 and only 1:10 to play. A triple from the far sideline, no good for Jamal Shed. They say that he squeezed it off just after the shot clock, and the officials are going to ask for a review. So we will pause the inbound pass as we will double check. And now quickly, the off-court official, Steve Foxcroft, says yes, indeed, that was a shot clock violation, so no good on the three.
Look at how quickly you can get the review done.
118-106. Raptors leading. Isaiah Collier driving on the near side. Castleton down low, thought he had it clean, but they're going to call a foul on Colin Castleton and send Isaiah Collier to the free throw line with 1:02 left in this ball game.
I thought Castleton did a really nice job there of coming across on the baseline, sliding over to provide help.
So Colin Castleton, in his first appearance as a Raptor, plays for the 905 last night and then comes into the big club tonight, Jones. He plays 23 minutes off the bench and had 2 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and fouled out of the ball game.
Hey,
I love it.
I do too. We haven't seen him tonight, but in watching game prep for Utah, former Kentucky player Oscar Tshiebwe did the same thing. Played for the big team, played the next morning for the Utah entry in the G League, and then came back and played on the back-to-back in the second night. And you know what? You're a young kid. You're 22, 23 years old. What else you got to do? Right? And you're getting paid for it?
Well, you said that. I thought you were talking to me. You're a young kid, Mike Jonesy. Trust me, I'm not that young anymore. I'm feeling it. Certainly not like these dudes on the floor right now. A whole bunch of youngsters for the Raptors closing out this ball game with Toronto leading by 11. 47 seconds to go. Shed out near center, spins away from Collier. Gets to the far elbow, to a cutting battle. Back out on the perimeter to Robinson, the big man with the three. Hits the rim, no good. And the rebound comes out to the Utah Jazz. Cody Williams across center. Williams steps back into a three ball down low. Kessler with another rebound puts it back into the tin. He's got 25 rebounds. The numbers continue to balloon. I don't think he's getting to those 10 block shots though. Orlando Robinson had it on the near side, cut off on the baseline. Raptors seem to be content to maybe just take the turnover. We'll see. They're up to 9 turnovers in the ball game. 9 seconds to go. With 6.3 seconds remaining, the Jazz will get the ball back. And Utah will dribble out the clock, and that will do it. The Toronto Raptors beat the Utah Jazz 118-109. A third straight win for the Raptors as they now get set to host the Washington Wizards in back-to-back games on Friday and Monday. A solid outing overall from beginning to end for Toronto. The Jazz never had a lead in this game.
Yeah, Raptors did a nice job. And, they didn't have a couple of their mainstays, but you unleash some hungry young guys that really want to get it done, and you see the result.
We will be joined by a member of the Raptors, and he's coming over to us right now as Jared Rhoden will get set to join us. A solid win tonight for the Raptors. And off the bench, Jared Rhoden with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and a steal and an assist for good measure as well. Jared, we were just chatting about the total team effort that we saw out there tonight on both ends of the floor. I mean, Jacoby Walter goes down mid-game with a quad injury. 9 guys not going tonight, but the next man up mentality. And you're one of the newest faces. Maybe talk to us a little bit about that and how quickly it's been for you and others to have to adapt to this team.
That's what being a professional is all about, man. The NBA is the next guy up, always staying ready, and I think that the Raptors do a great job of, preparing you and having you ready for that moment when the opportunity presents itself. And, kudos to them, and I'm grateful to have a great organization that, prepares you for those moments.
Jared, you and I talked about this in training camp, and I remember we were at an event with some kids, and you had some really wise words. I guess my question to you is, how did you stay ready, knowing that you were going to come back into this league at some point, and hopefully it would be for us, I guess, with Toronto and the way you played? How did you accomplish all that?
Trusting my process, man. All praises to the Most High, for waking me up every morning and giving me these gifts. And, I just stay true to myself. I always pray for resiliency, for consistency. And, I'm grateful that, God allows me to use my 2 feet and my 2 arms to play the game of basketball. And, I'm just forever grateful.
Hey, Jared, we appreciate the time. Congrats on the win, and another one tomorrow.
Appreciate it, Jared.
Thank you so much. You have a good night.
That is Jared Roden of the Toronto Raptors as the Raps get the win tonight. Roden again off the bench with 14 points, 5 boards, and the Raptors winning 118-109. We'll step aside for the break. We'll come back with final stats, get set to wrap things up, and hand it off to post-game coverage with Daniele Franceschi. Again, 118-109, Raptors with the win on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Left Brooklyn, relocated to Los Angeles in time for the 1958 season, a move some people back east have never forgiven them for.
What's up, basketball fans? Toronto, thank you for this amazing, amazing community. We're having so much fun in the chat, cheering on our Raptors, listening to the game, watching the game, however you're doing it, here while we hang out together. I just wanted to say we have so much awesome stuff coming up with SickKids Hospital, and we're doing a big campaign for March Madness, as well as possibly the SEC tournament. Thank you, basketball fans. It's a little bit rough with the Raptors this season, but we're still doing big things. Percentage of the revenue every single game. Just by being here, you see an ad. You like it? Click it. It does help the donation at the end of the day to SickKids Hospital, as well as the advertisers that are spending their money here on YouTube. Now let's get back to the basketball. Go Raptors, go. Thank you, insiders.
XM.com for the latest updates. In ARCA Racing at 8 p.m., catch full coverage of the General Tire 150 on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 90. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Miami Marlins. Red Sox on Internet 844, Marlins on Internet 855. 1:05 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Atlanta Braves on